A 40-year-old man has pleaded guilty to stalking one of college basketball's top female players.
A man accused of stalking and harassing UConn basketball star Paige Beckers has pleaded guilty to a stalking charge. A court clerk said 40-year-old Robert Cole Parmalee received a 1-year suspended sentence and 3 years probation on Wednesday. He originally faced 3 charges, but those were substituted for second-degree stalking. Parmalee had an engagement ring and lingerie with him when he was first arrested in August while walking near Bradley International Airport. He told police he had just flown in from the Pacific Northwest and was on his way to see Beckers at UConn. I'm Gethin Coolbach.
The number of people killed and missing remains unclear 2 days after a magnitude 7.3 earthquake struck the Pacific island nation of Vanuatu. Nearly 48 hours after the tremor, the toll of 14 deaths still stands. News and analysis at townhall.com. More subway security for New Yorkers.
In New York, Governor Kathy Hochul's deploying 250 more National Guard members in New York City's subway system during the busy Christmas season. This is on top of the 750 members sent into the system in March to address a rash of violence. Hochul says cameras have now been installed on 100% of subway cars.
That's correspondent Tasha Stevens reporting. Police say the shooter who killed a student and teacher at a religious school in Wisconsin this week brought 2 guns to the school. The 15-year-old girl also was in contact with a man in California who authorities say was planning to attack a government building. Madison authorities also identified those killed as 42-year-old Erin Michelle West and 14-year-old Ruby Patricia Vergara. The new details become public in court documents and interviews with authorities. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio. Yeah.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
1 week from Christmas.
That's right.
1 week past, 1 week less than Christmas.
Yep.
We're
6
days
away
now. Yeah.
We are geese-a-laying away from Christmas.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a weekend in between.
Yeah.
So there's comfort there for the last minute shoppers. And
I started like actually thinking about the schedule yesterday and how it's all going to break down, and it's very complicated. Like the having Christmas on a Wednesday really is
it's kind of it kind of is a little inconvenient.
How dare you, Christmas? The audacity.
That's right.
Breaking up a week like that.
All right. We're gonna replay an interview, and then I got 2 guests this hour, but and I got a bevy of commercials, so I want to get the interview going, but. I do because they've been talking about this a lot in the last 24 hours.
I got to say something.
So
as I was hitting the send button on a text that I sent to Mike last night, I said, crap, this is going to be hour number 1, isn't it?
Well, it'll be real quick because it is, and they talked about it on Hugh Hewitt here. With the now that being said, if the federal government shuts down for 40 days, I don't think that's a bad thing. But anyway, and people, the pay raises, I'm like, but the commanders thing, that's kind of a big nothing.
It was more just like when they kind of like laid it all out and stuff. I was like, it just seems like a very odd dog ear in a spending bill.
It's kind of a big nothing burger. Let me peel back the curtain. All right. So the Redskins played in. Yeah, do your thing. Yeah. Redskins played in RFK Stadium, which sits in D.C. proper. That's their team. They were there through the 90s when Jack Hancock built what is now FedEx Field or Northwest Stadium, wherever they call it now, in Maryland. That's where they've been playing since the 90s. RFK Stadium has been sitting there there in D.C. By the D.C. Armory and all that forever. It's been sitting there since then. It's a ghost stadium now. You go and you probably go online and find like those forgotten buildings, and there's one of RFK Stadium looking all decrepit there. It sits right there on prime real estate. Here's the deal: that piece of land is federally. It's in D.C., but it's federal land. And so part of the deal is they're gifting the land to D.C. back in the hopes that they can lure the Commanders back into D.C. The land should be D.C.-owned land anyway. It's federally owned land. That's what it is. The Commanders, they're not building a stadium for Washington. They're not spending money on all that. All they're trying to do is basically is somebody's doing somebody a solid here is what's going on. Their probably talk is, hey, let me get the land, and here they're trying to work the deal. Washington didn't want the DC, the city. DC.
Well, someone in Congress definitely wants to have a new stadium.
Well, and a lot of people do. A lot of people want to see the Commanders back in DC in that stadium. But when Dan Snyder owned the team all those years, they wanted nothing to do with him. That's why they did all this, and they really, and they've been fighting and all this. Some people in the DC City Council wanted it, but Feds and Snyder, and so they were. Now that Snyder's gone and there's a new owner, and
it's not necessary.
And the stadium in Maryland is now a decrepit piece of garbage, even though the new ownership has spent millions making it at least livable for the time being. Mm-hmm. And so they've done a bunch of upgrades, but they're going to build a new stadium. Right now, Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. are all dancing with the Commanders, trying to lure them. Because pull back the curtain, the Commanders' headquarters, where they do their day-to-day stuff, is in Virginia, in Ashburn, Virginia. Their stadium where they play is in Landover, Maryland. The old stadium, RFK, is actually in D.C. It's the DMV area. There's so where Ashburn is to Landover, it's probably an hour and a half, depending on traffic, to get from to FedEx Field, where the stadium is, to Ashburn. It's depending on traffic. It's
so
about an hour.
Where's the stadium again?
It's in Maryland. Now RFK Stadium, the one that the old stadium, that's in D.C., but it sits on federally owned land, and so they want to gift the land to D.C. So D.C. can now get in the game, saying, hey, because they don't really have a place to put a stadium in D.C. Yeah. You know, the Nats have taken the one area and all that, and so RFK is where they want. And plus, there's a big nostalgia factor. Build a new stadium. There was a lot of love for the Redskins back when they played in that stadium, and so they want to bring that back. Especially now that Washington's good again, new ownership.
Now that they're profitable again.
Everything that's going on, they want them back in there again. So at the end of the day, it's a big nothing burger in the terms of the shutting down the government and all that. That being said, the other stuff y'all should get mad about, pay raises and all that. But that Commanders thing is a big nothing burger. And he was trying to explain it to Hugh, and he was like, well, what about the land? I'm like, the land is really a dump site. It's sitting in an old, decrepit stadium. The federal government has not used this land in ever. They leased it to D.C. for the stadium. It's never been, the Armory sits on part of it. I don't even,
So it belongs to D.C.
It should. It doesn't, but it should. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. So that's, and that's kind of in a nutshell what's going on. So I know people are going to hype it and turn their political, who, what's, and all. But at the end of the day, that stadium part is really a big nothing burger. And if you do your homework on it, it's not what you think it is.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. As a Redskins fan who knows the history, that knows the back and forth and what's all been going on in the quagmire of that stadium stuff and what goes on there, yeah, it's a hot mess. And that's what. And unfortunately, when you're Washington D.C. and your own independent city, but you have the federal, the capital in your city, then and how you run your city and how your city's done is way different than any other city in the country. D.C. and how it's run is way. And it's kind of backwards way stuff just because the feds are so involved in it. So it's a big hot mess. Your government at work just making things more governing. So that's what's going on.
If you want to know anything about Washington, D.C. and how how it works. You just ask Mike.
Not all of it.
Because he knows way too much about it.
Not all of it, but I know the Commanders and Redskins. That I've been following that since I was a kid, so I know all about that hot mess.
Well, that too, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me give you the rundown because I got to get interviews going and all that. We're going to replay our interview we had with Crystal from the Humane Society. She joined us yesterday, talk about holiday hours, talk about adoptions. Like today's kind of the last day you can adopt dogs or cats for the holiday season here. But we'll play that interview here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have, and big thank you to them for working in my schedule here today because I kind of goofed up a little bit. But we're going to have the 5th Judicial District Attorney Diana Luce join us. Also, lead investigator Justin Dominguez, they'll join us here, and we'll chit-chat with them about the DA's office. And in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have the folks from the Roswell Symphony Orchestra. I'm not sure if it'll be John Farrer or Cisco Brink. We even have some folks from way off Broadway because coming up this weekend, this Sunday, is their big show with that they partnered with way off Broadway, and it is I always botch the name of it, but it's Amal and the Night Visitors, and it is the story of a young boy's encounter with 3 very wise kings on his way to a very important birthday party. So it's you can kind of Christmas story, yeah. So we're gonna have the folks in the RSO and maybe even way off Broadway and talk about the big performance this weekend and invite you to come on out and be a part of it. It's all going to be at the Pearson Auditorium here on Sunday, December 22nd, 2:30 p.m. It's an afternoon matinee, so works right in your schedules. All right, 7:14. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's get you up to date with the weather, take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side, we're going to play our interview with Crystal Noble from the Humane Society. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through the upcoming weekend. No big storms headed our way. Mid-60s on the afternoon high, and we get sunshine today with high pressure covering all of the southwestern states. It'll be clear for the overnight hours, low 30s, and then we're looking at upper 50s for the afternoon high on Friday and sunny, 60s and sunshine for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Ring in the new year with Mark Chestnut, Tuesday, December 31st from 6 p.m. till midnight at the Artesia Country Club.
Oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. I should have been that and she'd never left.
Say so long to 2024 and welcome in the new year with drinks, food, and friends beginning at 6 p.m. General admission is $100. Kids admission is only $20. Dinner at the Country Club and the concert is $250, or upgrade to a VIP table for 6 for $5,000 with only 4 tables left. VIP includes a private and intimate dinner with Mark Chestnut from 7 to 9 p.m. with the concert beginning at 10 p.m. All proceeds to benefit the Pena Project, helping to cover funerals and end-of-life costs for unexpected situations. Get tickets and learn more at thepenaproject.org. Celebrate the new year with Mark Chestnut.
Bubba shot the jukebox last night. He said it played a sad song that made him cry.
Tuesday, December 31st, 6 p.m. till midnight at the Artesia Country Club. Get tickets and more info at thepenaproject.org. 'Tis the season for Santa Bucks at Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply. Stop by and draw from Santa's bag for cash off your purchase in the clothing department. Celebrate Customer Appreciation Month for the entire month of December with 20% off everything in the clothing department. You'll save big on brands like Wrangler, Ariat, Kimes, Cinch, Bernay, Tasha, Polizzi, and Dear John Denim. Hats from Resistol, Stetson, American Hooey, and Twister. Also buy $50 in gift cards and take a $10 gift card for yourself. Don't miss out on these amazing deals at Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from our family to yours. The Grinch stole Christmas and brought it to Roswell Nissan. Now through December 21st, head for Roswell Nissan and sign up to win free gas for a year. Get 1 entry just for stopping by, 3 entries with a qualified test driver service, and 5 entries with a vehicle purchase. Drawing December 21st at 1:30 p.m. Must be present to win. Get 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and rates as low as 0%. And get a 2018 Murano for just $292 a month, or a 2019 Sentra just $214 a month. Get Grinchy at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
This holiday season, make your Christmas magical with Honey Depot, your one-stop shop for all things festive. Deck the halls with our charming Christmas decorations that will make your home sparkle. Spice up the Christmas meal with our baking goods and cookware. Keep warm with the best selection of clothing and pajamas. Our children's toys will illuminate young minds and bring endless joy, along with hilarious stocking stuffers that will have everyone laughing. Visit Honey Depot today and make Christmas the most magical one yet. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30, and Sunday from 1 to 6 at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Merry Christmas from all of us to all of you.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
This holiday season, Artesia General Hospital is here to help you stay healthy and enjoy the moments that matter most. Whether it's a routine visit or something unexpected, our caring team is here for you every step of the way, because nothing should keep you from celebrating with the ones you love. Visit artesiageneral.com to see how we can support your health and happiness. From all of us at Artesia General Hospital, happy holidays.
Our lives run on energy every day. And every day, your friends and neighbors at New Mexico Gas Company safely deliver reliable, affordable, essential energy to New Mexicans. The kind of energy that brings families together, that surrounds us in comfort. The energy that warms homes and hearts. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and every day we deliver the energy that's behind some of the warmest moments in your life. That's why we're here.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
It's a deep joke if y'all think about it, in many levels.
It
the
really
whole wind
is.
thing, and then think about it. It's a Civil War era movie, Gone with the Wind, flushing toilet. Come on. I mean, it's levels. There's levels there, folks.
There is.
You know, get on my level.
And not the outhouse level.
That's right.
I want the inside.
That's right.
That cold breeze don't always feel so good.
That's right. Not all winds are good winds.
No.
Good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and Crystal Noble joining us here with the Humane Society here in Roswell. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. Enjoying the cool off.
It is it's nice. It's but I love, this is actually a very nice week of weather. Like, it's getting like 60s, and that's nice.
It is,
and
but
it's cool
it's
enough.
Christmas. We're supposed to see wintry looking stuff.
Yeah.
Not fall.
I know, but I do dig this.
I'm not saying I don't dig it.
I know,
I'm
but
just
I
saying.
get what you're saying. I'm like, I should be wearing a winter coat. I should be like, you know,
cold.
Yeah, there's fireplaces, things like that. Yeah.
Snowball fights.
Right. Yeah, and none of that happened. So, but I do have to travel next week, so I really don't want any of that either, because planes can't get where they're supposed to go with the perfect weather now, let alone when they start going bad weather.
Oh, that's right. You're going back to Maryland now.
Yeah, next week here we'll leave this. Well, actually, this weekend here, Sunday, we'll get out that way. So, yeah, but of course, the Humane Society. I know we got into a bunch of things, but I'm going to start off right now because we always got to do this at least once during this year. If you are that family that thinks getting a pet for the family for Christmas is a good idea, that's okay. A, if all parties are on board.
Yes.
And B, I know it's fun and it's cute and it makes a great picture, but having the dog or the cat in the box with the holes under the tree is not the way to go with this.
No. And speaking of that, because we do not allow gift giving for adoptions.
Yes.
If somebody is wanting a pet and you don't know what to get them for Christmas, you're more than welcome to help cover their adoption.
Sure. Prepay the costs and all that stuff. Whatever it costs to get them chipped or spayed, you can do all that for them.
Once they're approved.
Yeah, once approved, obviously.
However, as of the 19th, if all adoptions are not finalized, they will resume after Christmas.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the vets are not doing any surgeries next week.
Makes
and
sense.
Friday is the last day for surgeries.
So you may be on the ball because today's the 18th?
Mhm.
So tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's mainly so that way we can weed out the people that are, trying to gift give.
Sure.
And make sure that they're going to a home that everybody in the house is in agreement and they want the pet.
I know it's good intentions, but
it really is.
It's a
And
life you're talking about here. This isn't a.
if you want
toy.
to, and we always tell everybody, if you want to bring a pet into your house for the holidays, and you have kids and everybody, get a stuffed animal, whether it's a cat or a dog, whatever you're choosing you want to adopt, and then have that as a surprise, saying, we will go find a cat at the shelters after the holidays. This is what you have to look forward to.
Or I would say, or another idea, get creative. If you're going to get them a dog or a cat, maybe put together a gift basket with the treats and the food and maybe some of the starter kit for them.
Right,
of
a leash, collar, dog bed,
maybe
little
that's
things
a
like
good
that.
idea. Yeah.
But don't rush and go get one, because remember, not all animals are going to like your kids. And not all kids are going to do well with certain animals.
Sure.
There are certain kids that do great with dogs and not cats, and vice versa.
Sure.
You want to make sure that it's a good fit for your family before bringing it home.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're creating a part of your family, but it's also, think of this as like you're dating matchmaking services. You know what
Pretty
I mean?
much,
You're like,
yes.
Like you just don't throw two people in the room to say good luck to you. You know, in essence, that's what you're kind of doing. Here's a dog. Maybe your personalities jive. Maybe they don't. Not my problem. Good luck to you.
Right.
That's what you're kind of doing to them.
Right. And so the easiest way to not do that is to involve everybody in the household. If you have like a family member that, recently lost a pet and they said, I think it's time for a new one. Whenever they're ready, give them a card that says, I will help pay part of your adoption fee or whatever.
Right.
An IOU kind of type thing. And that way, whenever they find the animal that they're ready for, you can be part of it and help them.
You help with all the financial or those ancillary expenses and things. And true. And then another thing too is like if you're getting this for your kids and you're thinking, I'm going to teach them responsibility. Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you, the parent, know that your kid will screw this up and ultimately the sword falls on you. You are the one that has to take care of this pet, make sure its needs are met and all that, because your kid will slip up on that. A bunch or a little, all kids do it. It's what kids do. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to remember, you, the parent, are also still the parent.
Yes, you still have to be present and involved and overseeing. That's just like, when you have a toddler and you're potty training them, when they go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom to make sure that they're actually doing what they're doing and not dunking their head in the toilet.
Right. Right. You brush your teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many of that when you're a kid and you're literally standing in the toilet. They're like, you brush your teeth? Yeah, I'm brushing it. Yeah, I know that. Because I was the kid in the toilet.
See? So it is, a great idea to help teach your kids, the responsibilities of pets at a young age.
Absolutely.
And how to take care of them and how to handle them.
Yeah.
But as you said, you as an adult, you need to be right there with them and don't expect them to take care of it without you being right there.
Absolutely. It's you're also as you're teaching your kid, you're also teaching the dog, and the dog is learning, or the cat, whatever we're talking about here. They're learning too. Your pets adjust to your way of life. That's what they do. Even cats, they do it. But you've got to establish routine. You've got to give them boundaries. You've got to give them the things they can and can't do, and they're going to learn. They're going to mess up things. They're going to do this stuff. There's a lot of work, and you're raising. Having a pet is raising a child. I mean, the end games and what you're teaching might be a little different, but how they process, how they do it, how they absorb information, and there's a lot of similarities there.
And so they say, there's a difference. Dogs don't go to school. Well, they do have school for dogs. They have obedience. They have agility. They have different types of things you can enroll your dog in.
Yeah.
Which basically is like doggy college.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot cheaper than human college, but and it teaches you, at the same time how to talk to them, how to know if they're understanding what you're commanding. Yeah.
Because you're learning their language, they're learning your language. And that's really what it's about.
And the fun thing is, if you have, let's say you have kids, make that a family thing. I have a friend who, anytime they get a new animal, they go to one of the basic obedience classes, and she has one of her children be the handler. So that way the children learn how to handle the dog and correct the dog.
Otherwise, the handler's teaching the dog how how the handler is gonna, and the dog won't listen to you.
Right.
Dogs do have a loyalty thing, and they will listen to certain people and certain they won't, depending on what they think of you.
Right. So, think about that. Make it a family thing. Where
Sure.
everybody's at the class, everybody's learning.
Sure.
And then that way, everybody knows how to communicate to the dog.
But you're also building the bond and trust between the dog and the family member, or the cat and the family. A lot of people don't take cat to training. I get that, but you know what I mean. You're still training at home. You may not have, they're still learning, and that's the beauty of it, because you're also building that bond, and that's the same bond that happens that when those moments in life happen, you're like, oh my gosh, the dog did the thing, and oh my God. You know how that happens? Because of all the training, all the bonding moments that you've created such a relationship with that dog that dog now looks at you like it's family and will treat it like it's one of its family. And if you attack its family, it will defend it.
It will.
That's what dogs do. And if you do it right, that's what you get. You get that creamy, where it's the most loving thing on the planet. But if something goes down, that dog's going to be the first thing that's going to be there protecting your kids. You know what I mean? And that's, and I know a lot of people like this. I got to have a guard dog and all, but if you're training it to be a guard dog, you're not training it correctly to do what you really want it to do.
No, my sister works from home, and somebody showed up and knocked on the door the other day, and normally all of our dogs are very friendly, docile, and whatever. Toby loves everybody. When Toby growls, it's a whole...
When E.F. Button talks, people listen. That's kind of one of those, like, if that dog growls at you...
Pretty much.
That's a red flag.
Pretty much. And she told me, she said, Toby growled and his hackles were up. And Titus, he'll growl, but if he shows all of his teeth, he means business. And so she said, Titus and Toby were both like, you're not coming in this door. And I was like, well, you don't have to worry about somebody hurting you. You've got them right there.
That's your radar.
And Titus is 160 and Toby's almost 70 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
but I will also say this. You don't need you can have a dog half that size and will be equally as loyal and equally as, you don't need the 160.
Yeah, I have a 6-pound dog who's equally as vicious. She's like, I'm going to shred your ankles.
Yeah. It's just that bond that you build with these.
And you don't have to, train them to bite, attack, or anything like that. When
that's their natural protect mode. You
when
just got to know how to attack.
Animal senses somebody is off, they're going to alert you. The animals can read people. When a dog doesn't like somebody, that dog has good choice character for good reasons.
Yeah, I'm always been. I'll trust animal intuition over mine 9 times out of 10. Almost always on some of that stuff. But then again, people that have been around animals all their life, they know that. You just understand. You get that
right,
thing, and that's what making being a pet owner is fun. So if you want all of that this Christmas, and that's your intent, then get on down here today. You got to get on the ball because you get this done. Otherwise, we'll see you in 2025. But,
pretty much, because right after Christmas is New Year's.
Yeah. Now, that being said, what about thrift store and all that? Is that going to be open here a little later
so
and all that?
That's what I have our holiday hours. So if you need anything for Christmas for the thrift store, you have today, tomorrow, Friday, because today's not Thursday.
That's right.
Today's officially new.
Oh, it's new day. Yeah,
it is.
You got 1 hour and 30 minutes till new stuff day.
10 a.m. club.
10 a.m. club. That's
okay.
right.
So from Wednesday through Saturday, the entire store is going to be half off.
Excellent.
On Saturday only, anything that's left Christmas trees, decorations,
Anything
whatever
looks
it
like
is,
Christmas, smells like Christmas,
is going to be 75% off.
Excellent. And by the way, before any of these sales happened, these things were already probably a third of what their value is when they were brand new and all that. And most of the stuff is brand new or like new. And so it's already deeply discounted. So when you come in, today through Friday, you're already getting 50% off on that. And then whatever's left, 75. I mean, you're literally going to walk out with something for 50 cents probably on Saturday. However, if you're wanting good selection, you want to do all that,
be there at 10 a.m.
Be here in about an hour and 26 minutes.
Yep. So this is going to be the last week for any thrift shopping.
Okay.
This is the last week. Sorry. This week is going to be the last for any thrift shopping.
Okay.
So Saturday is going to be the last day they open until after Christmas.
Okay.
And that's going to be the same with the kennels.
Excellent. Okay.
So we will be open all this week, and then we're going to be closed Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after.
Okay.
So we will reopen on the 27th, both the kennels and the thrift store.
Okay.
And then for New Year's, we're going to be closed New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then reopen on the 2nd.
Okay. Yeah, and the thrift store is normally closed on Monday anyway. So
right.
It won't be open on Monday either.
No. So normally they're closed Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays for resorting.
Right.
And so after the 28th, they'll close, and then they'll be reopened on January 2nd. I was going to say July 2nd. I skipped a whole 6 months.
We're going to be closed for 6 months.
We're going to be closed for 6 months. No, January 2nd, correction.
Very good.
I've already started writing 2025 already, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Good for you. I'm usually that guy that's writing 2024 into February.
No. Once it comes 2025, I'm going to be like 2022, 2024. I can't get my years right.
Yeah.
So we will be closed the eves and then the days of.
Okay.
And then the day after on the 2nd, we will reopen.
Very good. So basically, they push New Stuff Day back, 2 days next week? Basically. Instead of Wednesday, it'll be Friday.
Yes.
And then on the week after, instead of Wednesday, it'll be Thursday.
Yes. And so if you need anything like last minute stuff, last minute gifts, they still have a lot of brand new stuff that's in boxes, never opened, never used, deeply discounted, like you said, and it's already going to be even more discounted.
So real great gifts that if you're and by the way, some of this stuff, like you said, hundreds of dollars, you're getting it for $30-$50 depending on what it is, you know. It's really just I don't care who you are, what your income is, what it is. Walk in there first before you go into the other places, because why would you not? You know?
We have great furniture selection. Somebody donated a 70-inch flat screen TV.
Amazing.
70-inch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my walls aren't that big.
I was gonna say, but and you probably paid $2,000 for that new, and you probably get it for a third of that at the thrift store.
I think they had it for $250.
Exactly. I think that'll get you about a 40-inch new one nowadays. Maybe.
Roundabout,
like a low end one, like your Vizio or one of those ones that are
Roku.
Yeah, one of the ones.
TLC.
The ones that are kind of.
I'm all the ones that are up there.
Like the one you see in this room right now.
But they do still have quite a bit of stuff. And if you're the craft person who likes to make your wreaths, they have a lot of the plain, just the no decorated wreaths.
Okay.
So you've already got the greenery started, and you can just go in and fill it in.
Your little acorns or ribbons and bows and things that you want, or pine cones. That's what I meant. Not acorns, pine cones. That's what I meant. You got that kind of stuff. You can, create your own little wreaths and do your stuff with. So if you love your craft stuff, pick up craft supplies.
They have it there.
Maybe you're done your Christmas making for 2024, but you can keep it in keep it in your wherever you store your crafts. Because I know, as people that craft, my mom was one of them. You have some kind of craft closet, bin. You have some place where you keep ideas of future.
Right. You're like, at one point in time, I am going to use that.
So if you need some wreaths for maybe some ideas of future, come on down and grab
And there's a lot of people that do wreaths that aren't just for holidays. Like Christmas, sorry.
There's spring wreaths or fall wreaths or summer wreaths. Yeah, I've seen those.
They have the 4th of July wreaths and all of that stuff. So they're a blank canvas, and you can basically make it what you want.
Yeah, put your own stank on it. So, but again, stuffing stock up on or whatever you want to do, and I'm telling you too, if for folks, especially young folks that are just fresh out of college, fresh out of school, and you're starting your first professional careers, and you got to do a wardrobe change a little bit because you look like me most of the day, t-shirts and sweatpants. And you're like, you need something with a button up, something with a tie maybe, or a dress, something that's...
You need something a little bit more nicer.
I get it. You go into the stores, and next thing you're like, holy cow, it's $400 for a suit. And that's not even like a high-end suit. That's just for like a garden variety suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a dress. You're like, well, that's a $200 dress here. And you're like, I got to buy 5 of these? And you're like, oh, man. Go to the thrift store, and you will find the same suits, the same dresses, the same business attire. That's $5, $10.
Yep.
And you can look just as professional, and you didn't spend your first 3 paychecks trying to get wardrobe before you even get your paycheck.
Right.
And
you're not in debt before you have a job.
Exactly. That's the way to go. That's how. And you know what? This is how families make it. This is a lot of young people, and you see the way in the world, like, I can't afford a house. I can't do all this. I'm like, you got to remember, you're seeing your parents and you're seeing these folks when they got successful. They've had years of jobs and promotions, and they've when they started, when they were your age now, they literally were eating ramen. They were like, if you were around, because my age, I'm like, I remember going to like your Wendy's just to get the fixins bar, you know what I mean? To hit the lettuce, to hit the, or, and certainly going to the thrift stores and buying, things that you need that are expensive, buying them secondhand. And to be honest, some of that best stuff is that way. It lasts longer sometimes. It lasts, you know what I mean? And
the little cushion is broken. Yeah. You got your spot.
I mean, this is how you make it. This is how you do it. And I know Christmas right now is probably, for folks that are already on a budget, this time of year just kills that budget. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know how I'm going to get the kids this and that. The thrift store can help you out with this stuff. If you're dealing with some of these things, come in for the visit. Do some shopping. Do some, get the Christmas, all the stuff you're hoping for, but you can't. You could literally get a lot of it done through thrift stores. And if you don't see what you want in the humane size one, I invite you to go to the Refuge's thrift store and all the other thrift stores in town too. And
there's probably a good portion of Roswell that comes in and out of thrift stores. Mm-hmm. And there's a good portion of people that donate, and then they come in and they shop right after they donate.
Yeah.
And the majority of the stuff that I have is secondhand.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing. Absolutely not.
You can use it and until it gets you by for whatever you need until.
I mean, obviously, you draw the line on certain things.
Yes.
Socks, underwear. These are things you should not buy used.
I agree. I do concur.
Outfits, clothing, suits, jackets, shirts, pants, shoes, all these things. Yeah. But yeah, undergarments, buy news on that. But I get it. Especially if you use like, I need a suit, a funeral, wedding, I get it. And you're like, I'm not paying $500 for a suit I'm not going to probably wear again for another 10 years. Go on down to the thrift store. Probably find a suit very similar to what you're looking at, $40-$50.
Right. And then you use it, and then you can redonate it back and let somebody else get the one-time use. And
And also I get, too, that those dang suits keep shrinking on you. You buy the suit, and they can only let out so much. I've learned. And then, and you need another one. So, but if you're dealing with that kind of stuff, thrift store, got you covered. You're like, man, I need these. Like shoes. Shoes are expensive, especially dress shoes. You easily drop $100 on dress shoes,
if not more.
Yeah, easy. And that's the low end, high end. You know what I mean? They got them at the thrift store, and you probably buy $10 maybe.
I bought a pair of Michael Kors slip-on shoes at the thrift store that were never used.
Yeah,
I was like, $25.
$25. What are they? $150 probably.
Like $225.
$225. Okay, yeah. That's my point.
Now I will tell you, they are not comfortable. They were not pre-broken.
Yeah, well, that's probably what happened. They probably put them on, and these are uncomfortable, and they were worn one time for one thing. Do you have like jewelry and stuff too? Like if people do jewelry and things like that, is that?
They have the costume jewelry, and then anything that's not costume and more value, they have in the little display case, and you can ask for it, and they'll show you.
Yeah, readers. If you got readers in your family, great selection of books for kids, adults, everybody, and it's well organized. And it's like a library. If you want to find things, it's like a library. You can find them. You don't have to rummage through piles of books.
It is actually alphabetized like a library.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. So, so I invite you. Come on down. They're going to open here in about an hour and 15 minutes here. So,
yeah, be part of the 10 o'clock club.
Yeah. Sorry, 10 o'clock club. If you get a few more eyeballs today, I'm sorry because I'm sure.
Bring them donuts. They'll let you in.
If you're not new to the 10 o'clock club, they do have a pecking order. Respect their pecking order and then go right in behind.
But bring donuts. They'll let you in.
Yeah. You bring gifts. Then you schmooze it, and they might even let you cut. You never know.
They might be like, "Oh, go ahead, right here."
Do they have a particular?
The majority of the time, they park and sit on the pole right outside the door, and then as soon as the door opens, they just start funneling in.
They got a routine, I'm sure.
And it's like whoever gets there first gets first dibs by the door.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there. I feel like there's a hierarchy. There's an establishment. They all know each other.
Mm-hmm. Because they outside, they gaggle, they talk.
They know, and so. If you want to be new to the group, come in and bring some coffee or cocoa or some cookies or some donuts or something. Next thing you know, you're the president of the club, I'm guessing.
Right? They're gonna be like, I nominate you. I second that.
Nice donuts. You get to move up one spot in the line. Very good.
You went from treasurer to vice president.
That's right. But please utilize that. And here's the beauty of all this: every time you're in there spending money, every dime of that goes back to those animals in that shelter and making sure that they have everything they need to find their hopefully future forever home.
And then if you have gone by any of the angel trees and taken a tag off, this is going to be the last week to drop off stuff before Christmas.
Yeah. How many are out there? Is there still some out there?
There are. Okay. Roswell Seed, Tascosa, Ace Hardware, Pioneer North. Hold on, I have to count them on my fingers. Ryan Breedike's office.
Okay.
And then we have an angel tree inside the lobby. And then South Springs Animal Hospital has our angel tags on their tree.
Excellent. If you're not familiar with the angel tree concept, it's kind of a trend during this time of year. The angel trees for the Humane Society, you come by any of those locations and you'll see a tree with like the ornaments and little things. Pick it off and it's just needs of the Humane Society. And if you'd like to support the Humane Society, you can go to one of these trees and pick something up there and go purchase it and bring it to the Humane Society. That way you know that your donation will be useful, beneficial, and be exactly what the Humane Society needs.
Yeah, our main needs are what are on the tags right now.
Very good. Yeah, so if you'd like to, if you're thinking, well, I'd like to make it, and of course, if you don't feel like doing the trees and want to make a monetary donation, there's nothing wrong with that.
That does.
Because there is a lot of times where there's ancillary costs where you're like, oh, we're out of litter, we need to go buy a pallet of litter, or we got vet bills to pay, or we're out of food, or we're out of whatever, cleaning supplies.
Here soon we will be starting a fundraiser drive for a transportation vehicle.
Okay.
We've received a couple of grants, just not enough to cover the entire cost of it. So
and this is to funnel animals up to Albuquerque or when they find because Roswell, we're so bad at being responsible pet owners that we are a factory for other communities to adopt animals. We actually supply animals to cities way larger than us because they don't have enough for their shelter.
Because they have better spay-neuter laws and they enforce it way better than we do.
And I'm laughing, but it's sad that we have to deal with this. And so this is the thing we have to do. So please, we got a few minutes here. Tis the season. You're probably going to be out in the Walmart parking lots and see the puppy mill guy out there.
Call it in and report it.
Call and report it. Call in if you see things that are doing this stuff. And to be honest, if you aren't willing to accept that pet as a member of your family and you're willing to bring it inside at night or, treat it as a family member, if you're not willing to do all that, then maybe adopting a pet's not your thing. Yeah. Maybe find something else that you're into. But if you're not willing to, and I get it. Some people, I have dogs and cats, and you live out in the county, and I have a barn cat. I'm not, there's a place and time for certain things and all that. But the Humane Society, when they're adopting pets out to families, they want these pets to be forever homes. They don't want these to be barn cats and things like that. They want these cats to be indoor cats that live as part of your family. They want these dogs who have fenced-in yards that live in, that aren't, running loose.
If you are in need of a barn cat, we do have people that call in and say, hey, I've got a plethora. Yeah. Do you know anybody?
Sure.
So
you can make those connections.
I can.
But the animals that are calling the Humane Society home, these are all family pets. That's what they're destined to be. And so if you're not willing to make these members of your family, then maybe you shouldn't be shopping at the Humane Society. Now, at least at the thrift store, please do go shop there. But as far as shopping for pets, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. That's just my thoughts. Because
I agree.
Anything other than that is part of the problem that we're dealing with right now.
It is when I have to make arrangements to transport animals out of state. It's getting too bad.
Yep. And unfortunately, you get people that want to breed them and do it, and they have no earthly idea what they're doing. And that is way more harm than good. I'm not talking, breeders. There's certain folks that do that right and do everything by the book, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's so many others that just
there's too much backyard breeding.
They watch TLC for an hour, and next thing you know, they're dog breeders. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly. If you're doing it correct, permits and health tests and all of that, then sure, by all means, and do it responsibly. Don't overbreed, but if you're just, I want to get a first litter, I'm going to get beautiful puppies, that kind of nonsense.
You're looking for a cash grab with your dog?
Stop
it. and unfortunately that's what we're dealing with a lot of. And here's the other rub: the grass isn't greener. Ain't no one paying $300 for your puppies at Walmart parking lot.
Nope.
Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna do any of that. And to be honest, the people that do pay that kind of money, they're literally going out to the thing. They're seeing paperwork. It's like buying a house. It's not just going down and adopting a dog.
Right.
It's a little different process.
Yes.
There might even be insurance involved because of the numbers in which you're spending for said dog.
Right.
It's kind of, for me, it's a little over the top, but to each his own. As long as they ain't hurting the animals, I don't care.
Yeah. Just, if you're not doing it legit and you're not doing it correctly, don't be doing it.
Sure. Exactly. And unfortunately, you guys you have to pick up the pieces of when these things go wrong. And you see it on a daily basis. And that's why it's, if you can't adopt an animal, please support the Humane Society. Go to the thrift store. Come and, even if you're an animal lover, but because you live in an apartment and you can't own a dog or whatever, come volunteer. Come down and sit and meet with the animals. Weather like this, we can take them on walks and stuff like this. But even when the weather's bad, even coming and bringing the dogs, and they can go into the meet and greet room and just roll around the floor with the dogs for a little bit. The more the dogs get to do that, the more adoptable they become. So you're doing your part to help get these animals good homes by doing it.
You are.
And it probably is good for your own mental health too. I know I feel better after having a hard day, and you kind of float. You know what I mean? Playing with the dogs on the floor, you kind of puts you in a better mind space sometimes.
Their tongues, their kisses, they go in places that you don't want them to. Keep mouth closed.
Yeah, you might get violated.
Keep mouth closed.
But to me, that's why I love programs like they do at the library, where they bring the CASA or the DA dogs down and let the kids read to them. I was like, that's what you're supposed to do,
Right.
Because it really it's so beneficial for the kids from the reading side, but at the same time, it makes our next animal lovers too, and our next, I'm going to guess all those kids that do this, they're going to be, their families are pet owners. You know what I mean? So it's all good stuff. That's where it's at.
It really is. When you expose them more and more and teach them better behaviors, it helps.
Absolutely. That being said, even though the Humane Society for adoptions will pretty much wrap up after tomorrow here, if you're talking with your family, I know get family over holidays, and this is hey, maybe we're talking about. I do invite you to check out the website, roswellhumane.org. You can see every animal that is calling the Humane Society home right now. If there is a not available next to it, that means they're in quarantine.
Yes.
And they're in quarantine because either they're not at weight, they are awaiting vaccinations, or they're new to the facility and they want to make sure they're not going to bring anything that's going to spread to the rest of the population. So there's very reasons. It does not mean they're adopted. It just means they're not ready for public adoption.
Once they are adopted, we take them off the website.
Disappear off totally.
Yeah, so.
While you're there, I also invite you to become a member of the Humane Society.
Yes, new dues start 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pay now for 2025.
Yeah.
You can do it online. You can come inside the kennels and pay.
Yeah.
You can mail it in. We'll have
an excuse to come pet the dogs? Come on down and do it.
I need to go pay my dues, so I need to go take care of this. So, and then you come down and you get a little kitty and dog time.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
They love your visits, and I'm sure you'd kind of dig it too. So, but and anything and every level of membership, about your pets, your kids, your mom, everybody can be members at the Humane Society at various levels. As a member, you do get, there's meetings and get to say in the stuff, but really your support is your membership. You get the newsletters to stay up to date on what's going on at the Humane Society. But that your membership supports keeping that building open, making sure those pets have a warm, safe place to be until they can find their forever.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. So please consider being a member.
Yes.
Or maybe that's the Christmas gift. You want to adopt a dog? Say, I just got your membership at the Humane Society. Come on, in January we'll go find a dog. Maybe that's your intro to give them that you're getting.
Good idea.
Yeah. Now you're helping everybody.
Give the gift of memberships.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Is there anything we missed, Crystal?
I don't think so. I think we got it.
Good deal. Well, excellent. Well, I guess if I don't see you between now and Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Safe travels.
Yeah. And you're in town this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. I'll be at the kennels.
You can't get into trouble abroad.
Nope. I cannot get into trouble when I'm stuck in town. Well, I probably could, but I'm not going to go looking for it.
I got to ask, did John get yelled at after Monday?
Yeah.
I kind of thought. She was telling stories like, I don't know if she's going to want people hearing this stuff, but
I laughed. I told Mozo, really, out of all the stories from my first trip to California, that's the one you had to tell.
And I'm laughing. I'm like, but I'm thinking, he's so in trouble later.
And then, and not only him, but, Mr. We play stupid to make y'all feel better. Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, I did let out a secret that they don't know already.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. My wife didn't say anything about that. I don't think she was listening.
Oh, I'll send her a text.
I'm not saying now she knows.
Kim, go watch Mondays.
That's all right. Well, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, you too. And please, anything we can do to help, let us know.
We will.
Good deal. All right, 8:55. Let's pause for news and a quick break before more news. Don't go away.
The Artesia Schlotzky's is located at 905 West Main Street. Salado Isolation Mining Contractors, or SIMCO, announcing its combined corporate and employee contributions to the United Way have reached $105,000, underscoring the company's dedication to building a stronger and more resilient community throughout Eddy and Lee County. SIMCO's employees participated monthly in food distributions with United Way of Eddy County and worked alongside its participating agencies and community partners during United Way's Day of Caring. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Let's catch you up on some small school basketball. NMMI on Saturday lost in the championship game of the boys Bruce King Invitational in Moriarty. That was a narrow one to undefeated Melrose, 56-54. NMMI got there by beating Estancia on Friday, 62-37. Dexter will be playing against Goddard on the road in Roswell tomorrow night at 6:30. Dexter just coming off a 74-18 loss to Hagerman. Hagerman hooks up with Grady for a boys-girls doubleheader. That starts with the girls' game this afternoon at 5:30. Gateway Christian against Tatum, a boys-girls doubleheader as well. That starts with the girls at 6 o'clock. And Lake Arthur will be playing at home against Carrizozo, boys-girls doubleheader as well. That's today. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
KC Light Tower is proud to partner with the Pena Project in ringing in the new year with Mark Chestnut. New Year's Eve from 6 p.m. to midnight at the Artesia Country Club. Come get drinks, food, and socialize before the concert starts at 9. In a combined effort with Royal Services LLC of Artesia, the Pena Project is here to offset some of the costs associated with the passing of a loved one. All money from this event goes towards the Pena Project, who helps cover the costs of funerals of unexpected deaths. KC Light Tower's professional mechanics are always out in the field and are Deutsch certified. KCLT is there to make sure your site is ready when you are and can certify your man lift and forklift operators on your site or on our yards. Save KCLT in your contacts. 575-308-8647. Surface rental equipment all in one place. KCLT, helping you keep America running. Proud sponsor of the Pena Project.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Find your path to a greater future with Eastern New Mexico University. If you're looking to take the next step in your higher education journey, both in person and online, Eastern New Mexico University is the place for you. ENMU is now accepting applications for spring 2025, so don't miss out on your opportunity to join more than 5,700 fellow Greyhounds on this exciting path to student success. For more information, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success, that's what we're about.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe, Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell. This holiday season, make your Christmas magical with Honey Depot, your one-stop shop for all things festive. Deck the halls with our charming Christmas decorations that will make your home sparkle. Spice up the Christmas meal with our baking goods and cookware. Keep warm with the best selection of clothing and pajamas. Our children's toys will illuminate young minds and bring endless joy, along with hilarious stocking stuffers that will have everyone laughing. Visit Honey Depot today and make Christmas the most magical one yet. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5:30, and Sunday from 1 to 6 at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Merry Christmas from all of us to all of you.
Check out some of the Christmas bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Cans of Campbell's Cream of Chicken or Mushroom Soups are 5 for $5, and select bags of Pick Sweet steamable vegetables are 99 cents each. In produce, green asparagus is $2.77 a pound, and juicy jumbo oranges are 99 cents a pound. In the meat department, Cook's shank portion hams are 97 cents a pound, and family packs of bone-in standing rib roasts are $6.99 a pound. These are just some of the Christmas bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Mi nombre es Gilberto y soy de Albuquerque, Nuevo México. Siempre supe la importancia que es un seguro médico, pero nunca pensé que me salvaría la vida. Después de tener un seguro médico a través de Be Well, mi doctor dijo que mi corazón apenas funcionaba y me hicieron una operación que me salvó la vida. Y mi seguro lo cubrió todo. Gracias, Be Well, por ayudarme a encontrar el seguro médico que me salvó la vida.
Find the right health insurance for you at BeWellNM.com.
Make it a December to remember with Roswell Honda, with a slate full of savings across the lot, including deep discounts and low APR on Ridgeline, Accord, Civic, Pilot, Passport, and Odyssey. Plus, no payments for 90 days for qualified buyers. Then join Roswell Honda December 21st from 10 to 1 for the pre-Christmas blowout with free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to win one of 4 awesome prizes, including an Xbox Series X, a PS5, or a 50 or 75-inch Vizio Smart TV. December to remember, on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Recent events in the Middle East may finally lead to the release of Israeli hostages kidnapped more than a year ago in the infamous October 7th Hamas attacks. On the Salem Media Group news program This Week on the Hill with Tony Perkins, originating from Jerusalem this week, there was optimism from Caroline Glick, an advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
They've been there for 15 months and under dire circumstances that are unimaginable. Right. And we have the latitude right now, because of all of our successes on the battlefield in Gaza, to take a step back and have a temporary ceasefire in order to secure as many of our people as possible.
Are we close to a deal?
From the looks of it, it's possible, but we're dealing with Hamas, and they are Nazis. They lie.
Caroline Glick's full interview can be heard on This Week on the Hill. The broadcast will air on radio stations nationwide this weekend, as well as at 10 a.m. Eastern Time Saturday on the Salem News Channel. A multi-billion-dollar spending bill opposed by President-elect Donald Trump leaves a government shutdown deadline looming.
House and Senate leaders struck a deal that would have kept the government funded into March and avoided a shutdown set to begin Friday. Trump rejected the measure as full of giveaways to Democrats, and Elon Musk had whipped up outrage on social media, writing "Kill the bill" on X and threatening primary challenges against anyone who voted for it.
That's correspondent Ben Thomas reporting. The suspect charged with shooting to death a health insurance company chief executive on a Manhattan street, Luigi Mangione, is being taken this morning to hearings on related Pennsylvania criminal charges and efforts to extradite him to New York. On Wall Street, the Dow is ahead almost 280 points. The Nasdaq is up 141. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The world's largest hornet has been declared eradicated in the U.S.
The invasive northern giant hornet is also known as the murder hornet for its dangerous sting and its ability to slaughter a honeybee hive in a matter of hours. The Washington State and U.S. Departments of Agriculture announced its eradication Wednesday from U.S. soil. That comes 5 years after the hornet was first spotted near the Canadian border in that northwest state. Officials said there's been no new detections of the hornet in Washington since 2021 and called that a major success. Experts have said the hornet is also considered eradicated in Canada. Keith Peters reporting.
German lawmakers have approved legislation designed to protect the country's highest court against possible future manipulation or obstruction by authoritarian or extremist politicians. Officials have cited experiences in Poland, Hungary, and elsewhere as illustrating the need to bolster the federal constitutional court. News and analysis at townhall.com. The United Nations General Assembly demands a ceasefire in Gaza and backs the UN agency helping Palestinian refugees.
Israel and the U.S. were in a tiny minority voting against the resolutions. Meanwhile, Israel's UN ambassador, Danny Danon, says peace talks and hostage negotiations continue.
We made it very clear that there will be a linkage between a ceasefire and the release of hostages. And that's what we are talking about now. I'm not sure it will be in one stage.
Danon says they hope it will be in one stage, but could be similar to past deals. Either way,
we hope we're going to have some news before the holiday of Hanukkah and Christmas.
I'm Julie Walker.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has boasted that his military operation in Ukraine has strengthened his country. He's denied that the downfall of a key ally in Syria had dented Moscow's prestige. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelers said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome. And I can move to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes.
6-day warning till the big Christmas day.
Don we now our gay apparel.
Great. La 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 la.
Yeah, I guess it's actually they said that technically today is the first official shopping day of Christmas.
Really?
No.
For procrastinators?
But, yeah, for procrastinators. But
procrastinator day
the clip was, well, guess I better start shopping.
Yeah, no, there's no way they're starting today.
No.
If you haven't started yet, you're not starting today. You will start maybe this week.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. You'll get to it. Now, in fairness, it is sort of one of those that, like, if you plan it right, you can kind of take care of it within, like, a few hours.
Yeah, but you got to get a little lucky.
It's more just availability.
Sure, you got you got to have a few luck on your side.
Mm-hmm. And bonus, if you start late enough, you can actually get them Valentine's presents for Christmas because they'll already have the displays up at stores.
On the 24th, you get the hard
candy. They completely wipe out the Christmas section and they start replacing it with like boxes of heart-shaped boxes of candy.
I'd like to know where my President's Day attire decor is because we're just going to blow right through that now and go right to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we just completely ignore it. I know, it's a shame.
But, we're right up on it. We are officially less than a week away from Christmas now. So excitement lures.
And you guys leave out, Sunday?
This weekend, yeah. And we'll head out, and we'll be back next Friday. So yeah. And, of course, kids are, short-itis. They got, today, tomorrow. I'm guessing high school stuff, they're probably wrapping up finals or midterms or whatever. So it's probably still busy there. But elementary, I'm pretty sure they're down to, all right.
Tomorrow is
squeaking the TV, which is not a thing, but let's lower the Promethean board or whatever they do now. I have no idea.
No, that thing's always just there.
Yeah,
that Promethean board. But it's amazing. I wish I had one of those for the house. That thing is cool. I mean, just
I never really play with it. My wife has it. I've seen that, but I've never really.
It's just cool because it's like a touch screen projector.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I've seen her use it.
But no, today. Rhiannon and her class is going to go watch Moana 2.
Oh, yeah. Electric
Boogaloo. And she made it a point. She was so nervous that I wasn't going to show up with her snack money because she has to get popcorn and she has to get M&Ms.
You know what? She's good to worry about that because that has to happen.
Oh, of course.
And I get it.
But Dad comes through.
I know Dad did, but I get it. This is important to her.
I know
Dad will come through.
No need
I
to
get
worry.
that she's worried because that's a big deal.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like, I got to sit through this whole movie and I don't have any popcorn or candy.
I'll tell you, just because I didn't have the time or want to break the thing, she's baller status today because she's walking around with a $20 bill in her pocket.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how. I haven't been to the movies in a while. I'm not real sure how much popcorn costs, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that
I think
can
she
at
can
least
get a combo for $20.
Yeah,
for one kid. I think she'd be all right. Maybe even have room for some Skittles or something.
Yeah. That's the one thing I'll give her though. She doesn't drink soda, so she would just drink like water.
Really?
Yeah,
what about like Gatorade or Punches?
There's two things that she will drink: water and Welch's kiwi strawberry juice.
Does she not like?
That's it.
Carbonation?
She doesn't like. You know what? One time she picked up her brother's Sprite, took a drink, and spit all over the table.
Oh, really?
I was a little upset. Yeah, I said one time. That was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, no, she doesn't like different, textures or what she's used to or what she's expecting.
Interesting.
And if it's a surprise,
how'd she feel about tea?
I don't know. We've never crossed that bridge. She's not a fan. She literally only drinks water. I mean, that's all she'll accept.
Tell her it's brown water.
Yeah. You tell her. Okay, I've been telling her for years. You tell her. Right? She stopped listening to me.
I don't know. At some point, I'll be like, open your mouth. I'm putting tea in it. You will like this.
I've tried a bevy o beverages, and she just poo-poos on. You know what? That is not true. She does like apple juice. She will drink apple juice.
But I feel like she's a person that will accept logic if you give her good logic.
Sure. My logic is right now she's choosing the most healthy beverage possible. I'm not looking to crush that.
But
to
at the same
time,
I mean, there's other healthy drinks she could have.
I agree that she's really missing out.
Yeah.
But
I get it. Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? Trust me,
How's she feel about milkshakes and stuff?
Dude, it's the same answer. Really? She's never tried one.
Now that
she likes anything that's cookies and cream. So she likes
I feel
McFlurry.
like she's abusing herself now.
She likes a McFlurry. She likes
They're
a
all
scoop of
in the same ballpark.
I know. She likes a scoop of cookies and cream ice cream. That's pretty much it, which is good because it's available pretty much everywhere.
Maybe try on a Frosty, like in the middle.
I would love for her to like Frosties. I would love for her to like anything from any other places.
Can you like eat it in front of her and make it all like a big deal and make her want to try it?
No, she doesn't care. She's beyond caring about dad's enjoyment of the thing. At this point, it's more just And she's now to the point where her prefrontal cortex is starting to form, so she's starting to think a little more logically. It's more just playing mind chess with her.
Can you reverse logic it and say like, oh, this thing's god awful, but I bet you'd like it because it's something you'd like.
No. You know those fun games that parents get to play with their kids where they're like, make them try spicy stuff or whatever. Yeah. I never dared do that because she wouldn't try things anyways. Yeah. And if she was gonna, I'm not about to make it a bad experience.
Sure. I mean, but even if you just kind of not like rope-a-doped her, but I mean, just physically say, hey, I really don't think this is good, but I know what you like, and I think you might like this.
I will tell you the one thing that has been maybe that has given me the closest to a success in getting her to change her diet. Mm-hmm. She's starting to notice good smells.
Okay.
Like when we go to for example, the grocery, like Albertsons or whatever, and she'll smell like Cheap Chicken Monday or whatever. She'll smell the fried chicken and she's like, this smells good. I'm like, you think it smells good? You should taste it.
You should try it.
It's, and I'm starting to realize that maybe as her olfactory start to develop and she starts to kind of gain a like for the smells, that might actually aid me in my my endeavor.
Good deal. Well, maybe that'll crack the armor there a little bit.
It's definitely got to pay a lot of close attention.
Although I'm like a child that doesn't like a Frosty. To me, that's weirder than you could literally ring cats and dogs, and I'd find that more normal than that statement about a kid not liking a Frosty.
Don't even get me started on her lack of of baked goods. Birthdays, real hassle.
Here's your apple juice and 2 chicken nuggets.
She loves frosting. She'll eat the top of that cupcake.
Oh, well. Someday.
Oh, yeah.
Has she tried the Hostess Jobbers with the cream cupcake in the middle?
Not yet. And that's kind of the cool thing is most parents are like, I'll see it when they're little kids and the light in their eyes. I get to experience it when she's a teenager or above. Yeah. She's actually going to be noticing.
Does she like fruits and stuff? Like you give her grapes and things? She's all about that?
She'll eat a grape. Mm-hmm. She likes apple slices, but not the ones that come from McDonald's because those are sour.
Okay.
So she likes fresh apple slices.
Okay.
And that's kind of her line.
I would imagine that's probably not. I have a question. Oh, yes, Roy.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does she do the thing with the muffins where she only eats the top? Rips the top off and eats the frosting.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were talking about the sandwich thing. No, she just licks the frosting off.
Okay, I was talking about the Seinfeld thing where it's like
the muffin tops.
You bake the whole muffin and then you just eat the top.
Yeah, she doesn't. No. But I thought you were talking about the make the sandwich thing. But
now I want you to Seinfeld her in the other way and get a Snicker bar in front of her and eat it with a fork and knife and see how she reacts. All right, let's get our guests going here. We do have our district attorney for the 5th Judicial District, Diana Luce, joining us. Also, Justin Dominguez, lead investigator as well from the office. They're going to join us here in just a bit. Before we do that, though, let's get you update with the weather, and then we'll take a quick break. And then here in about 4 minutes, we'll have the district attorney on. So that's on the other side. Don't go away.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through the upcoming weekend. No big storms headed our way. Mid-60s on the afternoon high, and we get sunshine today with high pressure covering all of the southwestern states. It'll be clear for the overnight hours, low 30s, and then we're looking at upper 50s for the afternoon high on Friday and sunny, 60s and sunshine for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford Sales is back home at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. We're closing in on our 2024 sales goals, and we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal during the year-end sales event at Roswell Ford, where you'll get huge savings, more for your trade, and rates as low as 0% APR. Shipments of new and quality pre-owned vehicles are arriving daily, so you can upgrade for less. If you're upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you low leased, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Worried your credit is on the naughty list? Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
Everyone knows that the The Eyesight is the place to go for stylish, high-quality glasses, even the big guy in red. And when Santa needs an eye exam, glasses or contacts, cataract or LASIK care, or even glaucoma testing, The Eyesight is his place to go. With frames from designer brands like Maui Jims and Oakley, Santa's sure to find spectacular spectacles. They accept BSP, Medicare, Davis, and more. And with 3 locations in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs, Santa can slay this holiday. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight. What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
And now here's Chip Davis, founder and musical director of Mannheim Steamroller, with today's Christmas Countdown.
You know, at our home in Nebraska, we really love to decorate our Christmas tree. German immigrants brought the first Christmas trees to America. President Grover Cleveland brought the first illuminated tree to the White House lawn in 1895. Mannheim Steamroller and I have been part of that lighting ceremony twice now. What a great honor it was. But America's official Christmas tree isn't in Washington. It's actually a giant sequoia in California, growing at Kings Canyon National Park. It's estimated to be over 3,500 years old, older than Christmas itself, which, by the way, is only 5 days away now. And I'm Chip Davis of Mannheim Steamroller.
This holiday, focus on what truly matters and let Incogni protect your online privacy. Give the gift of security and peace of mind. Incogni.com.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Diana Luce, our district attorney for the 5th Judicial District here, and lead investigator Justin Dominguez back with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Yep, Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. It's been a little bit of everything since. And congratulations on, or condolences, I don't know the proper term, but on another 4 years.
No, it's congratulations. So
yes. Well, I know your passion for the job, and it speaks volumes because, let's face it, you guys have done a great job in your office and everything. And, you know, the DA Dog program, all the stuff that's going on. And so well-deserved another 4 years to get to doing it some more. So congratulations. And we joke about the condolences because it's not an easy job, but it is a very important job. So for you, how are things? How are you feeling? How's life? How are you feeling about everything right now?
I think things are good. We've done a lot of trials in 2024. The Supreme Court for New Mexico is really trying to clear what they consider backlogs of cases. So our district in Chaves County has done a lot of trials.
Sure. And I would imagine, court's always backlogged. There's never been like, nope, we caught up. But I'm still thinking you're still fishing out of COVID.
Yes.
I think we're still dealing with COVID delays and COVID. So probably a lot of that this year was spent getting buried out of that or unburied from that.
There's still a lot of cases from they weren't during COVID. They were after while we were dealing with the backlog that had happened. So they're looking at the age of cases and trying to move those older ones first. Sure. No matter if they're a less serious offense, they're just trying to
get them off the books. Get everything. And let's face it, that's how. At the end of the day, if you're committed or accused of a crime and stuff, last thing you want to do is drag it out for 10 years. You want to get it resolved as quickly as possible. At least most people do, I think. I guess depending unless you're going to spend some serious jail time, then you're like, nah, you get to it when you get to it. But, by and large, most people don't want that kind of stuff hanging over their head. So, yeah, I get it. You want to get that done and we got to do that. I am curious though, since we're kind of talking in that world, like, because even today, how you guys do court, how you guys do things, you're still being impacted from the COVID world. I mean, that there's still, and some of it's convenient logistics, but a lot of times you're doing court not even in a courtroom. You're literally sitting in an office via something or other. You know what I mean? It's a different world as being a lawyer today for you guys, right?
That's a positive that came out of COVID.
Gotcha. I said it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's different.
I think that we find it's easier to get everybody on. We always have a shortage of attorneys, whether it's prosecutors or defense attorneys. Sometimes there are attorneys from various parts of the state that are covering hearings here in Roswell or one of our other cities in the district. And also, a lot of our defendants don't have a lot of resources. And so getting to court by transportation, it's hard. But most everybody has a phone with at least Wi-Fi.
Sure. Absolutely. You're right. And I imagine the state alone saves thousands of dollars of just forget attorneys and everything else, just transporting people from jail to court, this and that, and it's extra risk that may not be on Justin's side. They're looking at it like, well, that's one less safety risk we got to worry about,
Yes, sir.
But financially, it's okay. That saves gas money. It saves labor. That saves basically instead of driving them downtown or driving them an hour to a courthouse or wherever they got to go, depending on what's going on, they literally bring them down the hall to the courthouse and the jail, and they can conduct business. And for you as attorneys, even because by and large, you don't have attorneys that have a case in Carlsbad one and then later in the afternoon in Roswell. They're pretty much, but they might be like, okay, I got to be in this courtroom at 2 o'clock, in this courtroom at 4 o'clock, and then this court, and this is going long. Now you're in one room, and you're like, you can just boom, boom. You know what I mean? So it really does save time and logistics there. Even for attorneys, just I got to bounce from that courtroom to this courtroom to this courtroom, and now I just do it all in one spot. So,
well, and even on the contrary, I think in our area, our communities are so close-knit that we'll have what you consider conflict cases where an attorney from Hobbs will have to cover a case in Artesia, or like an Eddy County attorney will have to cover a case in Chavez County because there's some type of a conflict because of the communities or the ties they're in. So there are cases or instances where we would have to have an attorney from another county cover a case in another county. So being virtual, as long as they're not mandated to be in person, it becomes more efficient to be able to conduct those virtually.
I really like it because it really is a win-win for everybody. But is there drawbacks though? Like, because like when it comes to signing things and documents and or the electronic world make pretty seamless with that too now.
Yeah, no, I think what the financial industry created a digital electronic world long before law did.
Gotcha. So you just get to take advantage of it.
We can e-sign. Everything can be a PDF. It can come to you in email. I mean, you can sign things from your phone if you need to. So really and truly, that is more efficient than trying to track down where did that piece of paper go.
Is there still things that we need to work on, like on the legislative side of it, to where, because I imagine there's things that you cannot access because of maybe an archaic law or something that isn't thinking about modern times and modern technologies. Is there a lot of that kind of, and what I'm trying to say is like maybe a piece of evidence or something that we all know is but because the law states something is done as a certain way, kind of like for instance, the baby safety locker issue. Some cities are having an issue because the state law is saying something like you can't put a baby in a box. You have to hand them to a physical person. So city ordinances or stuff are changing. Okay, no, we can make the box acceptable. Stuff like that. Are you dealing with issues from the legislative side, maybe in technology like that, where it's like, we all know this is the right thing, but because the way the law is written, it's really hampering us from doing the technology side of it?
The only thing that we really see is really it's the constitutional protections that require confrontation in person. And our Supreme Court really hasn't found a way, other than if all sides agree.
Gotcha.
To let like expert witnesses testify virtually. Now, we can always agree. The state can agree.
Sure.
But defense doesn't. The defendant's rights are to have the person there in person to confront them. And so we've agreed to have experts for the defense testify by video in jury trial. But we're not allowed to do the reciprocal.
Sure. And kind of another thing that's kind of maybe a future problem that not just here in Roswell, but every single court in the land's going to have to deal with is as technology advances and all this AI and all this other things come into play, what's considered evidence and how it's considered evidence is going to have to be addressed and looked at here,
right?
And things like that, because as we get, it's not going to get worse. It's going to get better, this technology.
Well, and I think on the law enforcement side, as far as our agencies are concerned, we're seeing programs coming out now where they're able to take your cameras, our body-worn cameras, and automatically download the footage from an incident, and then AI will come in, view that incident, and automatically type up or generate a report for the officer based upon that incident. So now then we have to start looking at, can an officer testify to what artificial intelligence is writing in that report because they didn't specifically write it? And then are they reviewing that report to be able to affirm or swear or affirm that those are the incidents that took place? You know, so and then also,
so it's good and bad because ideally, in theory, that sounds like an amazing tool for law enforcement to have, because I know you guys love doing reports. But
well, and you know what's I don't mind them.
But
there's a lot of guys that do
really streamline that process for you, because I'm sure especially depending on a shift, an officer might have to do that times 10 depending on what kind of night they have. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I could see the benefit there, but at the same time, there's a lot of things we got to be careful about on this other side.
And I'm a little crazy because I enjoy writing. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Probably why you're in the DA's office doing what you're doing.
But and then also compound with that with what you were talking about legislation and technology and stuff, is there's still state statute that mandates you have to have your insurance card with you in person, or you have to have your driver's license with you on your person. It's on your cell phone. Your insurance agency will email you a copy of your insurance card, or you can have your when you apply for a driver's license, they'll send you your temporary license on your phone until you get it, or in your email until you get it, the paper copy.
The state does when you get your registration.
And so officers have to use discretion, upon a vehicle stop, and they show you your insurance. Technically, can you receive a citation because you don't have the physical copy? Well, by statute you can, but then as an officer using your discretion, if you see that it's valid, what are you going to do? Just because you can, does that mean you should?
Unless you just want to be a real jerk that day. Why would you really, ideally, you could tell they're being legit. They're legit. They're trying to be within the law.
So there are differences, archaic, if you want to call it that, and not moving forward with times or whatever you want to call it. But there are differences.
I'm just wondering because we always hear, especially it's fun if you're on the internet, archaic laws, and it's like, did you know in so-and-so Oklahoma, if you walk your horse down the left side, you go to jail, stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm just wondering how many of those laws are going to come up from this, or we're going to need to address some of that, because these laws are technically not protecting us against some of the new things that are out there.
Sure.
Stuff, or by vice versa, giving you guys the tools to do what you can do to prosecute cases and all that stuff, and what can be used and what can't be used, and stuff like that. So it's always been, this is not something new, because you guys got constantly involved. Now, thanks to social media, that really was a tool, believe it or not, to make law enforcement's job a lot easier.
It's like ring cameras, video surveillance cameras at your door of your house.
People will out themselves if you give them the opportunity.
Those have helped law enforcement tremendously.
Yeah.
And the technology of those is great. It's right there on their phone, and officers can record it off their body cam, and they know what happened.
Just because of your experience and stuff, you've kind of, practiced law and seen before these things were commonplace. Have you seen the evolution of it being accepted? Was it like when early some of this stuff was it hard to get this accepted as evidence in court, and as it's gotten better, or was it pretty accepted? As we've evolved, have you seen where it was difficult to get some of this to be presented, and as now technology is better, it's just commonplace? Did you see that evolution?
I think we saw us struggling to get courts to allow it in, because certain defense counsel would object to it.
Sure.
And
any defense counsel with assault, they're going to do whatever they can to that's what they do. Yeah.
And then over time, I think maybe just the change in who the people are and the change in judges, different generations of people.
Now that a judge might themselves have a Facebook account or
they have their own camera, doorbell,
TikTok video,
right?
or whatever. Yeah,
it has changed kind of the whole makeup of that, and you'll at times hear judges make comments about, well, everybody knows how this works. And so, it's kind of like, what are we doing here, right? They're the gatekeeper of what comes in, especially if it's a jury, they're the gatekeeper. And so it's the reliability. And so if they don't think, maybe the weight of it, what do you think it shows? Sure, that's, you decide. But reliability, that's a whole different question. So I really just think the passage of time and things becoming commonplace are what helped us more than any changes in statute or rules or rulings by courts.
Has it changed how your prosecutors and yourself have built cases? Like the thought process there a little bit? I mean, it's always about the evidence and everything else, but what's deemed evidence and what you're thinking, like could you see some of this stuff and said, look, I could never have built a case on this 2 years ago, but now this is a case. I mean, are you seeing some of that evolution in, like, from your side in building cases and things too?
I think it has given us better evidence. I think the only other thing that's really changed is the changes that have come about in testing of evidence.
Gotcha.
The FBI.
Yeah, DNA as a whole. Yeah, it's like, quite frankly, it's like even because most people probably cared about DNA with OJ. I mean, let's face it, that was kind of when DNA evidence and everyone with OJ, that put it in everybody's world.
Well, I think New Mexico specific, the biggest change we've seen in regards to DNA is probably Katie Sepich case out of Las Cruces.
But I guess my point was that, like, DNA back when you thought DNA is night and day difference when the 90s and OJ and all that.
It's not night and day difference.
Yeah.
And all of the private companies that came about that started collecting your DNA because you wanted to know about your own history, right? Who you are,
23andMe's and all that. Yeah,
that changed the makeup of things for prosecutors and law enforcement.
Interesting. I never thought of that.
The FBI worked on testing, having the ability after a bullet goes into a gun and it's fired. Before, you could never test for DNA at that point. They're like, oh, it's all destroyed.
Wow.
They worked on testing to develop a means to test. It didn't mean they'll always find anything, but they have a protocol that they have sanctioned, and they're now using it. And we used it in we had people that testified with that new technology in the Cahoon Park shooting in those trials.
That's sorry, I'm a little nerd on that. I know you can talk about the track, but that's kind of cool. It is. I mean, the whole case, none of that's cool, but the fact that they're using some of this technology and they're able to do things that we would have never conceptually been able to do 10 years ago is pretty cool. And it's kind of even like when I talk with, like, when the sheriff comes in and they talk about some of the tools they have and how they can go to a murder scene or a crime scene and put these cameras down and kind of get these 3D angles and almost rebuild the scene in the case, like, right, on a computer, and they can almost anticipate through the shots and how it went this way and almost recreate this dramatization just based on filming the area and using the computers to gather the evidence and data and give you a scenario. They have that kind of technology now, and I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, the Faro scans are incredible.
Right.
Yeah, I know I'm getting a little, I'm just talking general.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Right. But it's pretty cool what they can do with some of this stuff nowadays. Absolutely. And I imagine those are valuable tools for your attorneys when they get into the courtroom and it's really hard to, when you've got the science and everything pointing right here, it's like, look, okay, there might be like a 1/10% chance this thing's wrong, but it's not.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's corroboration, right? And that's what our cases are really built on. I mean, we used to have to depend on, they took photographs and there were witness statements.
People's memories.
Right. And maybe they, had some DNA, or maybe they had some ballistics if it's a shooting. But now, with all the capabilities of testing and then different video surveillance that are out there, or like, say, doorbell cameras, what we have for corroboration now is it's so different. It makes our cases better.
Well, and it's because you look at, because a lot of this you relied on witness testimony for most of this stuff, and not people don't intentionally deceive, but let's just face it. When you're in a heat of the moment, details get lost. Things get, you're trying to, depending on the scenario, you may be trying to survive. And what color shirt that guy was wearing or how they were standing is not a detail you generally remember.
Well, and I think in a lot of those cases, it's not even about deception. It's the individual's perception, because to them, their perception is their reality, and everybody perceives things differently.
Mm-hmm. And so these technologies really, it's not that you're just saying, okay, this is what really saw, not your fly on the wall perspective of it kind of thing. And so that's where now, granted, it's not the be-all, end-all. You need this stuff along with that testimony to get, because at the end of the day, your job is beyond a reasonable doubt to prosecute someone. So using this equipment on top of those testimonies, on top of whatever other things that are equate, that's how you get a conviction. And so, but
I'm glad you said that, because it's important to always take the opportunity to educate the public when we can. That in those types of trials, it is beyond a reasonable doubt, not beyond all possible doubt. That's
the letter of the law. That's what the prosecution is trying to achieve here, and that's why black and white is the law, but there's so much gray in there. Right. And that's why you have your day in court, and this is why you do this stuff, and this is why you want the best defense, and you want the defense to try to, because at the end of the day, that's what makes the judicial system better, because it's testing itself. So I know people get mad at defense. They're these Johnny Cochran types and all this, but they are part of the equation. That they make a better legal system, because you got to challenge these things and things to put it to the test to see if it's right, and if it passes the test, then justice was served, and that's how it works. In the big picture. I'm sure you had a few things that you wanted to cover that I just sidebarred us on technology.
No. Technology is always a good topic. I think the only other thing we would talk about is when you talk about, not necessarily archaic, but things that are not on the books that we need, is we're at the holiday season and people, there may be consumption of alcohol and people might get in a vehicle and drive. But we still don't have a means in New Mexico, if somebody's under the influence of marijuana, to do testing.
I've always been curious about that.
Yeah. Other states have developed what they call a per se, like alcohol has for the 0.08. New Mexico has tried to do that. Our legislators have tried, and it just doesn't ever get anywhere because they're like, oh, there's not enough science behind it. And so we legalized it. You can have it, but it doesn't mean you can still be impaired and drive.
Exactly. Don't give you a license to DUI.
So we still don't have anything for that. Right now it's our drug recognition expert officers who testify about impairment.
And they're basically doing if it talks, quacks, and like a duck, it's a duck right now. I know there's a few things in the eyes and stuff that can give them indicators, but at the end of the day, you can't do a blood test or a thing to say, yes, they were intoxicated at the time, because unfortunately, marijuana is always...
DREs are in short supply, too.
Yeah, you could have smoked marijuana 2 weeks ago, and it's still in your system, but it doesn't mean you're impaired.
Right.
And that's the rub.
And that's the rub. And so, it's just, it's a complex issue. Other states have dealt with it differently. I don't know where New Mexico is going to go with this, how soon we're going to see something. Sadly, it seems that when we make a decision to finally do something, it's when there's been a tragedy. You mentioned the baby box, right? We had to wait until tragedy started happening in this state.
Unfortunately, you don't realize there's a problem until there's the problem.
Well, I think sometimes people do recognize the problem. You just can't get everybody on board that you need to make something happen.
We don't worry about it until it's blown up in your face. And maybe we should worry about it. Yeah, you're right. That's human nature. Yeah, absolutely correct. But and another thing too, and this is for folks, because I'm sure there's some folks that have no knowledge of cannabis or marijuana, and they're like, why can't you? Weed is different than when you knew it. It ain't smoking no joint or smoking a bong, and then they don't smell like because generally speaking, back in the day, you're like, yeah, somebody in here smoking weed, you can tell. But between the edibles and tinctures and the science that's going on, you could be so impaired on weed and you don't smell nothing here, because they could be vaping it, they could be eating it, they could be just putting it in their tea or whatever they're doing to it now. And and I'm not saying it's a bad thing or anything else, but as far as catching someone impaired by it, it's really, really tricky to do it. And you can think you are, but to prove it, That's the rub. And so you can get arrested. We can get them off the streets and me safe for the moment. But can we get convictions for that? That's probably where you're having the problems right now, because like, no, I wasn't. Yeah, it was. No, okay. You really don't have anything to say to argue that they weren't, other than the officer's testimony and what they observed and stuff. And I'm going to take a stab that defense attorneys are finding ways to work around some of that.
Well, like I said, quantifying it's hard because it does stay in your system longer. And so what is the amount in your system that could make a person impaired? Sure. And until there is I guess maybe what we really need is a national consensus on that, so that we could then have that decision and the legislature could make a law. And
I would even argue that it's going to be trickier than people think, because the way the cannabis industry is and how the products are, there's no set standard of impairment. Like different strands of marijuana do different things to people, and they react differently depending on what they're doing. So if you see a guy that's slouched out sleeping, they may be on weed, but that equal guy that's running around bouncing off the wall, you know what I mean? Like there's no set standard to determine that.
So it's hard. And so it doesn't mean that we don't have people driving impaired. It doesn't mean that we won't have crashes or people injured. Sure. But we really like to encourage people to, think about what they're consuming, whether it's alcohol, whether it's cannabis, whether it's prescription drugs.
And the holiday season's always tenfold on these types of things. Yeah.
And there's so many people that are traveling during the holidays. It just puts that volume out there, and we want people to be safe.
Absolutely. And trust me, law enforcement all over the state will be on patrol doing They're not stupid. They know that when the holiday season hits, everything goes tenfold. The domestic violence, the drinking, the driving, the drugs, all of the above go up tenfold.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to piggyback off of what Diana was saying. For whatever reason, around this time of year, our domestic violence rates go up too. So, if you find yourself in a situation over the holidays where things are getting a little heated, man, step outside, take a break, go for a walk. Do something else, separate yourself from that situation and just
not a proponent
take a
for
breath.
Cannabis, but if that calms you down, just don't drive it.
Right? Yeah. Just take a break, take a step back.
I'm saying you should just say it. Do that.
Well, and there are a lot of resources to call for help, for a place to go. If you don't have someone, sometimes people don't have any place to go. They don't have anyone else to call. There are resources, and what's great is they post them everywhere. Mm-hmm. So like all the restaurants have them, all the convenience stores have them, all of your, they're up in our stores like Target and Walmart. They're posted, save those numbers, memorize those numbers, whatever you need to do.
And I'm sure all of our local law enforcement, you call if they need a ride or whatever, they'll make sure, I know for folks in Eddy County, their DWI program's got a deal. They're working with law enforcement and a few other local agencies where you call and they'll come pick you up. And I'm sure there's something very similar here in Chavez County as well, too. But,
for the kind of a safe ride, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
What they exactly call all of them.
Each county has different versions
they all have
of
different
them.
names. But whether you're impaired, whether you're in a domestic violence situation, call for somebody. Don't feel like that people don't have time or won't help you, because they will.
Absolutely. Trust me, they will. They want you to do this now than having to deal with the consequences of you not doing this.
Yeah, step away, take a breath, take a break, figure it out, separate yourself from that environment.
There is nothing that's going to happen over the next 2 weeks that's going to be something that you can't walk back from if you just take a moment to think for a second. I know family... There's nobody better getting you mad than your family sometimes. I get it.
And everybody's dynamic is different.
Sure.
Just take a breath.
Yeah. And I get it. It's close proximity, holidays and all that. But, focus on the fun stuff. And when someone had a little too much, and they walk away. Just, don't drive
Please.
away. But separate, take a chill pill, go whatever you got to do. And if need be, if it does get too bad, don't hesitate to call law enforcement, let them come in and get things right for folks and help people and all stuff. They're trained to do it. They don't like to. I tell it to a person. You walk to. I'm going to say Justin's probably going to say the same thing. Every law enforcement person I've ever talked to said, "What's the worst things?" 9 times out of 10, it's the domestic violence ones. Those are the ones they usually have. They see the worst. Those are the hardest calls for enforcement most of the time.
They're not fun. That's for sure. Yeah. Just take a breath.
Yep. So let's for your own sanity and for our law enforcement. Let's do our best to kind of and let's face it, you don't want to have to deal with Diana down the road here, and you're gonna eventually if you keep doing this. You don't want to deal with Diana in a good way when she's coming with the dogs and hanging out with you.
That's
doing
right.
the fun
That's
stuff.
right.
Not when you're looking at her on the other side of the courtroom.
You're in a bad way if you're looking at Diana on the other side of the table.
Yeah, that's true. This is true here. But for you guys right now, what's kind of is the office going? Just kind of giving the community what needs, things like that. Is there things the community could do to make your office a little easier? With DA dog stuff or anything in general that we can get the public to help out with?
Well, the DA dogs are their foundation always will accept any type of support that people want to do, volunteering, monetary donations, and right now they're spending a lot of time going with law enforcement. And they're doing a regular visit with the officers and the dispatchers, just to kind of give them that support. But obviously, it's the time of year where sadly things happen, and there's a need. But right now, I think just what I'd ask from the community is be patient that you're being asked to serve jury duty. If you have any jury duty left through the end of the year, we apologize, but the courts count their cases by year end too, and so they're trying to close out the calendar year, it's not the fiscal year closing out.
The jury trials are dragged, so they're trying to get all the stuff that they don't need jury trials for.
Right, if they can get them done and over with before the new year. So if you're called in, just thank you for your service, and but we apologize for the inconvenience, but. Like we said, we have a lot of cases, and the courts are driving the ship, right? And they're counting the numbers.
But I will tell you this from past experience of serving in juries and stuff, the bailiffs and all that, they know it too, and they usually treat you nicer and give you cooler stuff, and they usually kind of trust me, you're kind of a rock star when you're a juror. They really they kiss your butt a lot. Just saying. It's not a bad gig.
Well, I'm telling you, the court staff and the bailiffs,
they do an amazing job.
They do an amazing job, and they become jurors' friends, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a one-day trial, maybe not, but we've done a lot of multiple week trials this year in Travis County. Yeah. And so, they become like family.
Yeah. Yeah, the bailiffs are the coolest people in the planet. If you're on the jury side and all that, you don't realize how cool. Like you just see that person standing there with the badge just hanging out, but they're pretty cool people with it because they're especially from the jury side. They're really the keeper of the jurors, and they're kind of the gatekeeper for them and all that kind of stuff. And they do it. And when the jury needs things, they're the ones that let them go. Hey, get them lunch, or somebody needs to go smoke a cigarette or whatever. They let them go get them do that.
Sure,
they're really nice about that. But anyway, yes, please be patient. And you're actually doing a great service to the community.
It's very important.
This is
a juror's job is very important.
I know we all joke about getting out of jury duty and all these kind of things, but at the end of the day, and to be honest, if it's kind of fun. I mean, not fun, but it's interesting. Like if you want to see how the sausage is made, you want to know how your legal system works. No better perspective than you're a juror. You really do get to see, and I mean, you don't see everything because there's a lot of times where the lawyers are talking and you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs in a room in the other room. But you know what I mean? You get to see how the process is, why it's going on, and what's going. And at the end of the day, you ultimately decide on the outcome of the case here. And so you get to see that side. And I'm telling you, one of the coolest, unique experiences a human being can ever have is hang out in a delivery jury room.
Well, it's like I always say, you got to put yourself in the perspective of that defendant too, or your family member. If you had if your family member was in an unfortunate situation and found themselves sitting as a defendant, you would definitely want someone in that juror box giving all their attention to be able to weigh the evidence of the case and figure out, one where it's very important that we have jurors that are willing and open-minded to serve that
and
position.
The part I liked about it, and we're running out of time, but I do want to share this with folks, is I've been on a couple cases where I actually went to sit in the jury and had to deliberate and do the things over the years. I've 2 different courts, 2 different times, but there was a while where 3-year mark, man, I was getting popped for jury duty. That was a hot streak. But anyway, it's been a minute. But anyway, I probably do, but anyway.
Don't say it out loud.
Oh, sorry. But it's kind of funny that the thing that I found interesting was, and these were emotional cases. You know, there was violence involved and things like that. But the thing that I was impressed by was, because I was thinking, you know, people are going to be like, oh, man. But really, sure, people were like, yeah, that was heinous. But at the end of the day, the jurors walked in there and they're looking, all right, and we're looking at the charges and we're like, did it meet this? Did it meet this? And they were, and to a person, they were taking emotion out of it and saying, based solely on what we saw, did you see? I mean, yeah, I kind of think a thing, but was that proven? And jurors, by and large, really, really take that seriously and really listen to the judge and really put their opinions inside and say, did the prosecution meet the evidence here? And if so, we check it and they say they're guilty. And if they didn't, then we got to say they're not guilty. And I had both cases where one was one way or the other. And I was like, something was gone here, but it was not proven. The evidence was not proven. And I feel, you know, bad that the victims probably, but at the end of the day, and this was years ago, but the evidence didn't meet it. And so I went in like, oh yeah, this is real. Yeah. But you break it down. And juries, by and large, really, really do that. Humans do that. And so, and I saw it firsthand, you know, because I always think, you know, people be people. But no, they do it. And I knew you guys know this, but I saw it firsthand.
Sure.
So y'all should, if you get the summons, don't try to find a way to work out of it. Just bite the bullet, do it, and I think you're going to find out that you are glad you did it at this end. And you're going to be like, that was a very good experience, an educational experience for me. Sure, there's inconveniences, but at the end of the day, I mean, as an American, you're really seeing what it's like to be an American and what all aspects of being American, and this is a very important one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good thing. Is there anything we missed? I know I got tired.
No, I think we're good.
Well, thank you guys. Merry Christmas to both of you. Thank you guys for everything you do. I know both of you guys work crazy hours, and you're dealing with the best of the place and the worst of it, and we do appreciate everything you guys do, and thank you for everything you do. And I will say this, when we talk about the DA Dog legislative session, blow up your legislators. The DA Dog program is one of the best things to come out as far as tools for this. This is all privately funded. The state gives zero money for this type of stuff. The state should be giving lots of money for this stuff. It should be in every DA's office in the country,
absolutely,
let alone in state of New Mexico. And so blow up your legislators. Tell them that, you know, we got a 60-day session coming up here. Everyone's talking about all these billions. They're going, what are we going to do with all this money? Let's find some things. I got some things you can do with that money.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And this is one of them.
Well, thank you for having us, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I hope you have a wonderful holiday.
You do the same.
Thank you very much.
I hope I only get to see you like this and not.
That's right.
All right, 8:54. We're going to take a quick break before news. Don't go away.
Plan your escape during the Getaway Sales Event at Roswell Hyundai. Now through the end of the year, find unbelievable deals across the lot on an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, including 3.49% APR for up to 48 months on 2024 Palisades, 2.99% APR for up to 60 months on 2025 Santa Cruz, and 0% for up to 48 months on 2024 Tucson and 2025 Santa Fe. Deals so good you can upgrade today and make your next getaway feel more like a holiday. The Getaway Sales Event on now at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
This holiday season, Artesia General Hospital is here to help you stay healthy and enjoy the moments that matter most. Whether it's a routine visit or something unexpected, our caring team is here for you every step of the way, because nothing should keep you from celebrating with the ones you love. Visit artesiageneral.com to see how we can support your health and happiness. From all of us at Artesia General Hospital, happy holidays.
The Grinch stole Christmas and brought it to Roswell Nissan. Now through December 21st, head for Roswell Nissan and sign up to win free gas for a year. Get 1 entry just for stopping by, 3 entries with a qualified test driver service, and 5 entries with a vehicle purchase. Drawing December 21st at 1:30 p.m. Must be present to win. Get 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and rates as low as 0%. And get a 2018 Murano for just $292 a month, or a 2019 Sentra just $214 a month. Get Grinchy at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Registration for the spring semester is on now at ENMU Roswell. A great career in healthcare, arts and sciences, or technical trades is waiting for you. Now's the time to skill up and get certified. Register today for spring 2025 classes and talk with an advisor. Log on to roswell.enmu.edu. ENMU Roswell, success starts here.
Success starts here. ENMU Roswell.
Roswell. Make it a December to remember with Roswell Honda, with a sleigh full of savings across the lot, including deep discounts and low APR on Ridgeline, Accord, Civic, Pilot, Passport, and Odyssey. Plus, no payments for 90 days for qualified buyers. Then join Roswell Honda December 21st from 10 to 1 for the pre-Christmas blowout with free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to win one of 4 awesome prizes, including an Xbox Series X, a PS5, or a 50 or 75-inch Vizio Smart TV. December to remember, on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. We begin with business news in Artesia. Schlotzsky's has opened with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and fanfare from the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This is franchisee Devin Garcia's first venture of this kind. After owning small stores and an oil field service business, he also is employed by Sunbelt Rentals. Customers were greeted with sandwich coupons and free Cinnabons on the first day. The Artesia Schlotzsky's is located at 905 West Main Street. Salado Isolation Mining Contractors, or SIMCO, announcing its combined corporate and employee contributions to the United Way have reached $105,000, underscoring the company's dedication to building a stronger and more resilient community throughout Eddy and Lee County. SIMCO's employees participated monthly in food distributions with United Way of Eddy County and worked alongside its participating agencies and community partners during United Way's Day of Caring. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished lower yesterday, a down day on Wall Street for sure, as the market reacted to the Fed's latest rate cut. The Dow widened its losses during afternoon trading and notched a 10-day losing streak for the first time since 1974. As for the central bank, it's the third rate cut of the year. Fed officials hinting 2 more rate cuts could be coming next year. Some investors had been pricing in 4 additional cuts for 2025. Single-family housing starts increased 6.4% in November. And November's building permits rose slightly. Southern states accounted for the rebound in home building. Today, in economic data, look for November's existing home sales, as well as November's leading economic indicators and weekly jobless claims. In company-specific news, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton suing both 3M and DuPont, the suit accusing the companies of deceptively marketing products containing the toxic chemical PFAS. It's been used for decades as a non-stick, waterproof, and stain-resistant coating in products like 3M's Scotchgard and DuPont's Teflon. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. There are 2 important facts about life you might not know. 1, no mineral is more crucial to longevity than magnesium. 2, the most effective form of magnesium is stabilized magnesium ions. That's where REMAG comes in by Dr. Carolyn Dean. Experience the benefits of stabilized ionic magnesium and support your health today. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order. Visit RNAreset.com and use offer code MIRACLE10 for 10% off your first order.
Like Donald Trump has abruptly rejected a bipartisan plan to prevent a Christmas-time government shutdown. Mr. Trump says he wants lawmakers to change the continuing resolution and extend or terminate the debt ceiling before he takes office.
The debt ceiling was suspended under an agreement that then Speaker Kevin McCarthy brokered with the White House. The agreement was unpopular, but it took months of negotiations to craft. It allows the federal government to continue paying its bills for debts it's already incurred, and it led to some spending restraints.
That's correspondent Kevin Frecking reporting. The man accused of killing United Healthcare's CEO is returning to New York to face murder charges. Luigi Mangione agreed to be extradited at a court appearance today in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested last week after 5 days on the run. A state appeals court has removed Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from the Georgia election interference case against Donald Trump and others. That decision leaves the future of the prosecution uncertain. The holidays are meant to be a time of celebration with family and friends, but they can also bring pressure to spend money on gifts and plane tickets home, among other things. Matt Watson says people often spend more money than anticipated over the holidays.
Because what we see happen quite regularly is people get into justification mode, where you have maybe a general sense of what you want to spend, but then you see this really nice thing or get influenced into something a little bit better, and all of a sudden you've done that a few times across maybe multiple family members or friends, and you've spent twice as much as you thought you might.
Watson is the CEO of Origin, a financial planning app. On Wall Street, the Dow's ahead 213 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight, which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken will make what is likely his final trip in office to the United Nations this week.
With the UN Security Council more divided than ever, Blinken will chair 2 meetings of the UN's most powerful body Thursday. But neither will focus on Russia's war with Ukraine or the Middle East, where the U.S. has been frequently at odds with permanent members China and Russia, and almost always in the minority when it comes to Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza. Blinken will instead lead Security Council sessions on artificial intelligence and the current conflict in Sudan, which aid agencies say has sparked a dire humanitarian crisis that has not received the attention it is due. Bernie Bennett reporting.
9 people have died in a massive fire in central Taiwan at a huge food processing building that was under construction. Video posted on social media showed a wall of smoke and flames billowing out of one end of the 5-story building in the city of Taichung. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Justice Department is accusing CVS Pharmacy of filling unlawful prescriptions for opioids.
The Justice Department unsealed a civil complaint Wednesday that alleges that CVS Pharmacy filled unlawful prescriptions, including prescriptions for excessive quantities of opioids and Trinity prescriptions, which are a dangerous combination of an opioid, a benzodiazepine, and a muscle relaxant. CVS says it has cooperated with the DOJ's investigation for more than 4 years, and it strongly disagrees with the allegations and what it calls the false narrative within the complaint. Donna Warder, Washington.
Israel launched 2 waves of airstrikes on Yemen overnight, killing at least 9 people. The strikes came after a Houthi missile attack targeted central Israel early Thursday. Israel said it shot down the missile before it entered Israeli territory. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to our number
Trace and Piernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Your last Thursday before the Christmas holiday.
Gotta love it. Yes. It's the preparation stage is in full effect.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people that won't put their tree up until this weekend.
Okay, I don't mind
like
that.
it's their tradition, just wait till the weekend before.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got. I kind of dig that to I put it up the day after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's too much looking at a Christmas tree.
Unless you're Thomas.
Who has
our sales manager? He keeps a tree up, several trees up actually all year long.
Yeah, but are any of them actually have Christmas decor on them, or is it all
probably
like
around
Dallas
the
Mavericks?
holidays?
Yeah, maybe in the holidays, but usually it's Dallas Mavericks or Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Stuff.
Which it's still Dallas Cowboys and Maverick stuff, but it's just holiday themed Cowboys and Maverick stuff. Now it's just like a Mavs logo with a Santa hat on the side of it.
Yeah, he's a bachelor and lives a little bit. He's got like China hutches, but instead of like China, it's filled with Star Wars.
Yep.
In Cowboy Stadium seats.
You know what Thomas kind of is? Thomas is like if Tom Hanks from Big just decided, I'm going to get my stuff together and just keep doing this thing.
Right.
And actually, found success. Because, that strikes me as Thomas's...
and I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was like had money and he created his little apartment playroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Even if it's still 1982 version of that, I'm still having a good time.
Oh,
that place.
heck yeah. He got all the best
He had
toys.
like ball pits, trampolines. I think he had like Galaga and Miss Pac-Man games and all that. Yeah, the whole deal. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But for my generation, the real big one was there was a movie from the 90s called Blank Check.
I remember that movie.
This kid gets a blank check, and it's so funny because he writes himself the check for $1 million. Like it could have been, any exorbitant, but he writes a check for $1 million, which doesn't seem like that much.
Right.
But what does he do? He buys a castle, first of all.
Right.
Which there goes all the money, I would think. But he buys a castle, and then he tricks it out with like a go-kart track.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of his room, he's got like all these like, he's like set up on like a cloud playing this like shooter video game thing where he's like aimed at like 17 TV screens on the wall. And he's got a butler that he comes in so he can, box with those giant sock and bopper gloves. And so that was to me was my generation's like.
You know what my version of that is?
The
TV show Silver Spoons.
Okay.
If you, I don't know. Do you remember
Ricky
that
Schroeder?
show?
Yeah.
Ricky Schroeder.
Alfonso Ribeiro.
Jennifer Grey.
Mm-hmm.
The mom.
I didn't watch much Silver Spoons, but I do remember it. Yeah.
But yeah, so the dad, he was a millionaire. I don't remember why or what he did to be a millionaire, but Ricky Schroeder lived in it. Like they had like a little train in the house. Like it was a whole, like he had arcade games and pinball. Like it was a really tricked out.
Well,
room.
and then of course there's The Toy.
Yeah.
With Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah, The Toy.
That was always a fun because you just see Richard Pryor riding around on that little train.
The Spider-Man
That's
outfit.
fun.
Yeah.
That's just fun.
Of course that movie probably does not hold up because it's.
I would imagine no.
I'm just gonna let it go because y'all go. If you really want to know, go research The Toy with
Richard Pryor.
And read the synopsis, and then you'll say, okay, yeah, this does not hold up.
You know what I haven't seen in a really, really long time, but would definitely be down for a rewatch? Brewster's Millions.
You know what? Weirdly enough, I watched that about a year, maybe 2 ago.
Okay.
It was on one day. It still holds up.
Does it really?
It's dated and in some of the stuff, but as far as entertainment and equally, the whole, what he does with the money, how he does with the money, none of that holds up nowadays. It's just, to be honest, I think it'd be really easy to do it now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
$40 million in 30 days? I think I could pull that off.
Yeah, and it was so the premise, if you've never seen Bruce, it's got John Candy, it's got Richard Pryor, there's a few other people that escape me right now that are kind of famous in there. But basically, he's a kind of a club minor league baseball player, him and John Candy. They're really, they play their club league and all that, and, they're just... And somehow, Richard Pryor's character has a distant relative that is a billionaire, and basically dies and says, I'm going to leave Brewster if he's got a test for him. If I'm going to give him $30 million, he's got 30 days to spend $30 million, but he can't tell no one, and he can't have one penny of it left when he's done, and he can't have any worth either. So he can't just buy yachts and say, here it is. He's got to basically spend it. But if he does it, then he gets $300 million or something like that.
Some other huge payoff.
Yeah, and so that's the premise of the movie, him trying to spend $30 million, but he can't tell nobody. And so all his friends are like, he's crazy, he's going to blow that money and all this, and they don't know the end game. So that's kind of the whole premise of the movie. But it is good and holds up. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I definitely want to go back and rewatch it, because I think when I actually watched it, I was like maybe 13. So a lot of the jokes, a lot of the sensibilities are just over my head.
Actually, you know what I need to do now is go back and check out some of some of those Rodney Dangerfield movies, like Easy Money, and some of those that I need to go back. Not Caddyshack, but more like Easy Money and some of those
some
movies.
Of the B-sides.
Yeah. I need to go and see how those hold up.
You know, and speaking of just dusting off old things, I was kind of going through a bunch of DVDs we have. I stumbled on a DVD that my mom bought when I was a kid. Or I'm sorry, she didn't buy
Bless
it.
you.
She donated to PBS. And in donating to PBS, they sent her, it was a 3-pack of DVDs, and it was the best of Victor Borge.
I remember the commercial for that.
Yeah?
For that product of which you speak. That was one of those Ronco commercials where he does his whole... he does like weird, impressionable music or something.
He's a pianist or a musician, but he incorporates that into his comedy.
Yeah,
and I popped this DVD and I was just sitting there watching. It's hilarious, and it fully holds up because he works family friendly in so much insofar as
it's that
it's
old
just sound
school
effect
comedy that's just timeless.
But you forget. And I'm sitting there, I'm watching. I'm like, I've forgotten that I know entire. Whole portions of this special, like the inflationary language where he says a sentence like "I ate a tenderloin with my fork" would be "I nined an 11-loin with my fife." And just whole bits like that, you just forget the you.
And I know because I know you. You appreciate that more than most.
Oh, 100%. And it's one of those things. It's like I understand the phrase "I've forgotten more than you'll ever learn about certain things." And it's in this case, I've literally forgotten that I learned the entire Victor Borge category.
That's one of those things that it's one of those things. It's like subliminal in your life. You don't realize it, and then it hits you like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I get it.
I just unlocked a portion of my brain I haven't seen in 15 years.
And the older you get, the more of those moments you have. You're just like, oh, what? Oh, no way. Okay, all right.
I know what they mean when they say we only use 10% of our brain. The other 80% is chalked up with Victor Borge quotes, and we don't access that portion very much.
Well, it's like talking to you because Roy was joking earlier. You don't know everything about Washington. I was like, no, I don't. Then you realize I'm stupid on a lot of things. There's a few things I know a lot about. There's so many things I know nothing about.
Right. Same. I put a lot of my eggs into a whole lot of weird baskets.
And unfortunately, the things I know a lot about are really not important to most people. Just me. So, anyway.
But they make me very interesting at parties.
Exactly.
There you go.
Right. I'm a life-size Uncle John's bathroom reader.
That's right. Only the best up here.
That's right. All right, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you update weather, all that here in just a bit. And then joining us from the Roswell Symphony Orchestra, John Farah and Cisco Brink will be with us talking about big show this Sunday. They partnered up with Way Off Broadway, and they're going to present a show that you don't want to miss, Amal and the Night Visitors. That's going to be at the Pearson Auditorium this Sunday at 2:30. It's a matinee performance. And obviously, a Christmas-related story here. If you're not familiar with the story, witness the story of a young boy's encounter with 3 very wise kings on their way to a very important birthday party. Figure that one out. About Christmas.
It was Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
That's right.
The young boy's name was Dave, and he started a music group.
Yeah, so the RSO and Way Off Broadway are going to do this performance, but we'll talk with the folks from the Symphony Orchestra here in just a bit.
Well, it's Larry, Curly, and Mo. Those the 3.
I like my shimp. But
nobody ever gives Harpo when you love.
Shemp was underrated. Just saying. Everyone was like, Curly this, Curly that. Ain't nothing wrong with Shemp. Shemp was a good one, too.
He tried.
He just came later. It is 16 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through the upcoming weekend. No big storms headed our way. Mid-60s on the afternoon high, and we get sunshine today with high pressure covering all of the southwestern states. It'll be clear for the overnight hours, low 30s, and then we're looking at upper 50s for the afternoon high on Friday and sunny, 60s and sunshine for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 39 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 55%. Winds are currently out of the south at 7 miles per hour. For today, sunny skies, mid-60s, 66. Officially our high today. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Looks like for tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 28 degrees. So a little chilly. North winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, a little bit cooler tomorrow, 58. So near 60, but a little under for you Friday. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow night. Overnight low of 30 with south winds at around 5 miles per hour for the weekend. Saturday, sunny skies, mid-60s once again, 66 for a high with winds out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Sunny, pushing 70 on Sunday, 69 officially our high there. And then looking at your Christmas week, for Monday, 67 and sunny. Tuesday, 64 and sunny on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, sunny skies and a high of 69 degrees. So we're going to be pushing sunny and 70 for your Christmas Day next week is what it's looking like right now. So enjoy that. I don't feel Christmassy, and I'm not going to lie, but I would not complain either way. It's still kind of nice. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then we'll talk with the gentleman from the Roswell Symphony Orchestra, talk about their big show this weekend at the Pearson. Don't go away.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
The weather is changing, and what is cooler than being at the Cow? Well, we can't think of anything. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in Roswell is your authorized Brothers sewing machine dealer for Southeast New Mexico, and they're all on sale right now at the Calico Cow. New fabric styles for fall are here, and holiday and Christmas fabrics continue to arrive daily. If you're still stitched to your own machine and you just want a tune-up, call for in-house maintenance, 575-639-2586. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the Cow.
Roswell Tire and Appliance has a great selection of brand new refrigerators, freezers, ranges, washers, and dryers, all with special Black Friday and Christmas pricing. With Roswell Tire and Appliance, you can have it in your home for the holidays. Save even more on their selection of scratch and dent appliances. Plus, find a huge selection of tires and the people that can help you get it done. Roswell Tire and Appliance can repair your appliances as well. They pride themselves in service long after the sale with repair warranty, and they deliver to all of Roswell and the surrounding area. Roswell Tire and Appliance, 101 South Main in downtown Roswell.
Being called a fox in your marriage might not always be a good thing. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie, for the Joy of Marriage.
In Song of Solomon it says, "Catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of love." I looked up the word fox, and it means cunning, achieving one's goal by deceit or evasion. A female fox is a vixen, which is spiteful or a combative woman.
Those little things we do to try to get our way can ruin our marriages. Try just being honest and talking through the situation. Do what's best for your marriage, not just for yourself. When Julie and I learned to choose to do what's right instead of trying to be right, our marriage turned around. You will find marriage is so much better when we work together.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Hey,
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford Sales is back home at our dealership at 821 North Main Street. We're closing in on our 2024 sales goals, and we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal during the year-end sales event at Roswell Ford, where you'll get huge savings, more for your trade, and rates as low as 0% APR. Shipments of new and quality pre-owned vehicles are arriving daily, so you can upgrade for less. If you're upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you low leased, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. Worried your credit is on the naughty list? Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance plus tax, title, and license with approved credit.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Symphony Orchestra, back. Actually, I think they flipped seats, but they're back together.
Right.
I think last time they were on, they were in the other
That's
seats.
true.
But of course, John Farrer and Cisco Brink back with us with the Roswell Symphony Orchestra. Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all doing
Good
today?
morning, Mike.
Good to see you.
Well, this is really cool. I love, everything you guys do. I mean, any show, everything that comes out from the Roswell Symphony Orchestra is a 10. If you see the Roswell Symphony Orchestra doing a thing, just go. Doesn't matter what it's called, what it is.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. Just
You're
go.
right.
But
Absolutely.
this one's a little extra special because you kind of partnered with Way Off Broadway, and we kind of got a big fun at Sunday afternoon.
Well, when I first heard the concept for this, I thought it was going to be like an oratorio, just a concert opera, no costumes, no acting. Well, call it mission creep, call it whatever you want. We've now blocked this out. There's acting going on in this. There's dancing going. My daughter is in fact going to be one of the dancers for it, and so it's turning out to be a spectacular thing for this Christmas season.
Yeah,
and Cisco is one of the singers.
Oh boy!
So you're one of our singers here.
Right.
Very good.
Bit part.
So you'll be putting on. I guess this would be your Way Off Broadway hat a little bit here, because
I've actually never been in one of those shows.
Okay, well now you're in one. But for folks that have not heard, we've been talking about it for a month and stuff and been advertising. But in case you haven't heard, but this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. at the Pearson Auditorium, the Roswell Symphony Orchestra and Way Off Broadway will present a great classic, Amal and the Night Visitors. And this is the story. It's kind of a fun. The story of Jesus and coming to the birth of Jesus and the boy going to his party, the wise men, and so it's a Christmas story that is a fun way that the whole family will love.
Absolutely, it really is. And the opera was written in 1950.
Okay,
it's in English,
so it's a new one.
Yes,
like in an opera world, that's like a baby.
It is.
Well, written for television.
Yeah,
it was written for television, and it's about an hour in length. Everybody. It's not. A lot of operas are many hours.
You'll be home by 4 o'clock,
right?
If you pay your cards right.
And it was written for NBC.
Okay.
And NBC actually had an opera department in those days, but we have to remember that Arturo Toscanini was still alive and conducting the NBC Symphony.
And plus, there was a lot more live performance on TV at that time, where you had to have a band or an orchestra on hand to do something.
Well, and remember, NBC did an extraordinary thing. Robert Sarnoff, who was the chairman, in 1937 decided he would put together the world's greatest symphony orchestra for the world's greatest conductor. And he did that. The NBC Symphony for Arturo Toscanini. Toscanini was still doing Saturday night broadcast. Every Saturday night, you could hear the NBC Symphony and Toscanini. So there was
and created that tradition that even still today.
Right. And so they commissioned Giancarlo Menotti, an Italian-American, to write an opera. And he did. It's very accessible. It was broadcast Christmas Eve night, Eve, 1950, and then for every Christmas Eve for 15 years after that on television. It's a beautiful story. I'll let Cisco tell you the whole story, but it's just amazing to me
that they commissioned this, that the company commissioned that and kept it going for so many years and did it at the highest possible level. So it's a great piece.
And what I'm going to also take a stab at too is a product or a piece that exposes opera to people that may not normally have gone and ventured down that path.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's very, very easy. In the story, again, Cisco, you can tell the story, but I mean, it's a beautiful story.
Mm-hmm. But and it, I guess a scripture alert. This is an apocryphal story. It's not based in scripture, but something like this probably happened.
It's like a parallel.
Well, and it's very feasible that this could have happened because in the ancient world, there wasn't Motel 6. There wasn't a place to stay at. And so the three wise men had to seek lodging. In the ancient world, you had to enjoy the lodging of the hospitality of people in whatever town that you went to. So in this case, on the outskirts of Bethlehem, the three wise men seek shelter for a few hours with a family that is rather destitute. This is a widowed woman. Mm-hmm. There's no dad in the picture at this point. The young boy is very energetic, but is handicapped, is crippled. The next day after this happens, I suppose, they're talking about going out begging. They don't have wood for their fire. And so what happens in this story, in this 45-minute story, is a lot of good things and bad things about the human condition are put on display. There's a lot of wonderful hospitality that this poor family is able to put together for these three wise men. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I served in the Middle East for many years. In poor areas, when you inundate it with a lot of wealth, as these three wise men did for this family, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, it disrupts the situation. And so the mother actually attempts to steal part of this gold. And I won't tell you the end of the story, but what happens...
Let's make it come out on Sunday.
So there's greed, there's envy, but there's also courage, and there's also love and mercy on the part of the three wise men, the head king, if I can say
that. It's a Christmas message with a twist kind of thing.
Well, he forgives her. Yeah. Woman, you can keep the gold. The child that we seek doesn't need our gold. On love alone will he build his kingdom.
Right. This is a Band-Aid in the big picture here is what you're looking at.
But it's the real meaning of the incarnation of the coming of Christ into the world. That's what this wonderful American opera is truly about. And it's happening here in Roswell.
But it also puts it in a lens that you kind of see it from like where you think it's practical. You know, it's almost like when you think of like moments in history or moments of time and I don't know, signing of the Declaration of Independence. We all probably have an image, you know, the people in the room and all that. And then we see like your paintings or you see whatever art has presented to us over time of what we think these images are on it. And when I think this kind of presents this story in a way, it's like, well, it kind of gives it in a practical world. You know what I mean? It's like we hear these stories and they sound fantastical but now you see it in a way that's like plausible in human form.
It could have happened.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now I see how that could have happened.
It's an accessible story, like the maestro said. And I want more people to see it in Roswell, but a lot of people are going to see it. As of last night, Mike, we were just under 700 tickets sold for this event, and there are hundreds more left.
I was going to say, good news is the Pearson holds more than that.
It holds more than that. So if you want to see this, and you do want to see this vocal talent, there's a seat for you.
Yeah, trust me. There's not going to be a better ticket in town Sunday afternoon. You need to come and go to this show. I'm hoping there's some family in town from Christmas and coming in for the Christmas week. Right. And you're looking for a great opportunity for your family to do something together and this right in the vein of the Christmas spirit. And come on out and enjoy a great performance.
You will, and you'll get to hear local singers.
Yeah.
This is local talent.
And I will argue this too is the Roswell Symphony Orchestra. If you've never heard of them or don't know a thing about them, they are really New Mexico Symphony Orchestra. They are a makeup of amazing professional musicians from all over the state of New Mexico and beyond.
Right.
They're all professional musicians doing their day jobs as professional musicians in their various worlds and lives and things like that.
Exactly.
But a few times a year, they come together as the Roswell Symphony Orchestra and put on amazing performances and things for folks every year.
Exactly right.
And you're about to see one of those treats on Sunday. Now, with the added layer of not only the talent of the Roswell Symphony Orchestra, but the talent of the Way Off Broadway. I know folks, they've put on amazing shows over the years, you know. some of the biggest spectacles that you could possibly do on a stage, way off Broadway, is done in this town here, and pulled off.
What Devin Bullock has put together for us, I mean, let me tell you, Devin Bullock is a Roswell treasure. I'm still in awe of what she has put together. The singers include, well, I'll go through the list of about 5 cast members. The tenor King Caspar is played by Scott Brackentrip. He's the choral director at the Institute at NIMI. An experienced choral director, but also he himself has sung the tenor leads in many.
He's got his own
many
singing
operas.
chops.
Let's see, David Rocha, locally here in the medical field, but since the early 1990s, he has sang in many operas and been in many productions. A wonderful baritone, King Melchior.
I'm about to say it takes a certain talent to sing opera too. You could be a good singer and still can't sing opera. You know what I mean?
But these people can do it, and they're from not just New Mexico, but southeast New Mexico.
You might see them at the hospital or at the store or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
The bass, Zachary McAllister, he's based out of Portales. He's a music student. Every time I hear this wonderful bass voice, I'm like, wow. I can't believe he's from around here. The mother, played by Jasmine Sod, I believe, Maestro, she went to the
San Francisco
Conservatory.
Oh, wow.
But drives up here from Carlsbad for rehearsal and for performances, and wonderful soprano, a dramatic soprano voice. She's wonderful.
Well, and you kind of reminded me of something when you said that. She comes from Carlsbad. Same with RSO. They come. These folks travel for miles and miles to do this, and they do it because they love and have a passion for what they do. The people way off Broadway love to sing. They love to perform. This is their passion. Every single musician that calls the RSO home, I'm pretty sure whatever instrument they play, that is their life, their love, their passion.
You're right about that.
They've probably forgotten more about that thing than you've learned about something else in their lives. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right.
What you're going to see on Sunday is a culmination of everyone's love and passion for this. And so what you're going to see is an A-plus performance. You're going to see the RSO. And for them, I imagine every time you guys get together, it's like a little family reunion is probably what it kind of is.
Yes, it is, because we've had some people who've been in the orchestra for decades, and then we have some younger ones come in from time to time, and that's very important. So it's a very nice mix of very experienced people with some younger ones who are coming along just beautifully.
Sure.
So it's a very special orchestra.
They'll be the next generation.
Yes, exactly right.
They'll be the ones that are running the show in 20 years from now or whenever that may be. Yeah,
exactly right.
And it'll be a new batch of fresh faces that they'll be.
And speaking of the next generation, the protagonist in the story, the lead in the story is a 12-year-old. Amal is, I think, supposed to be 11 years old in the story, but played by Avery Westfall, also from Carlsbad, 12 years old, when practicing for months, and
cool.
The makings of a very good singer. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted to be a 12-year-old being the lead in an opera.
All you're saying is you might see this name somewhere down the road, somewhere along the line, in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, there was a feature on her in the Roswell Daily Record, the Vision section on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and then who knows? You could be here. I remember her. She was singing on Sunday. Now she's on my TV, or she's the biggest artist, or who knows? Where that happens.
She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
She's Taylor Swift.
I like it.
It's amazing. And we had a piano rehearsal back in October, and she just stood there and just looked right at me and sang every note, and it was right on the money, and it was just amazing. 12 years of age.
I'm a little jealous of people like that have that gift, that they can do things that are very difficult for so many people that they can do. I mean, that's what gifts are. Everybody has, but when it's singing or creating music, I'm a little jealous. I'm like, because I have none of that ability. I wish I did, but I just don't. It doesn't, like musical notes, it just doesn't jive in my head. I wanted to.
That radio voice, that baritone does not translate to the stage.
No. I could probably sing for a minute without offending someone, but only for a minute. Then it gets wonky. I can imitate it for about this long, and then the wheels come off after some point. But it's kind of like skiing, like when you go skiing, and then there's always that 9-year-old without the poles that just whips around you like they've been skiing for years, and you're trying to just go. It's the same way in these singing worlds. You're like, man, I could not hit that note in 100 years if I tried. And they just did it like they do this all the time, and it's amazing to see. but I do get a little jealous. I'm not going. But so that's what you're going to see on Sunday here.
Exactly right.
It sounds like.
This is our Christmas show this year, and it's a good one. I'm so honored to be a part of it, and I mean it's your choice to go, but I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. This is something in Roswell this weekend. In the town where it's hard to find things to do, supposedly, this is a wonderful thing to do on the Sunday before Christmas. A fitting way to begin your Christmas holiday.
And I know we're the land of manana. We're just like that. People have been knowing about this show for months. Like, I'll get my tickets. Guess what? You're officially in the 2-minute warning notice. It is officially time to get your tickets. You're in the procrastination zone. Now is the time to do this. You still got time to go to the RSO website, the Roswell Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, RoswellSymphony.org.
I did the orchestra by accident. Sorry about that. Yeah.
So RoswellSymphony.org, or call our office at 575-623-5882.
Very good. And we'll get you tickets. Will they be available at the door?
They will be available at the door.
If they're not sold out. Like I said, we still have a few seats left, and we anticipate, but all I know is when we get to the land of manana, and now people are hearing, it's like, oh yeah, that's on Sunday. I better get on the stick. And then today and tomorrow, there's going to be an inundation of ticket sales, I predict. And I would hate for you to miss out because you said, I'll just get them at the door.
No, it's a lot easier online. You don't want to stand in line when you get there.
Trust me, I've seen that line. You don't want to be in that line. I like it. You want to be the one that got in advance and you could stroll on in. And plus, if you're trying to impress your family and friends, it's way more impressive when you don't have to get in line. You just roll right on in. You look like a baller and a big shot, and your family will be impressed by that. But trust me, this is like a double fold. You're getting a double treat. You're getting the awesomeness that is the Roswell Symphony Orchestra that we're only blessed with a few times a year. But you're going to get that, and then on top of that, you're partnering up with Way Off Broadway, who they put on an amazing show every single time they do their thing, too. So you're getting the best of what this area has to offer all on one stage, all in one afternoon on Sunday. So come see this. Come see some amazing local and regional talent. Because it is
Mike, well said. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Yeah. Beautifully said, Mike. Thank you.
It is really just a cool thing. And I'm thinking, especially if you got the family town and you're trying to do your Christmas traditions and Christmas, getting that. What way to kick off Christmas week than start it Sunday at the Pearson Auditorium and seeing a great show. It's at 2:30. Like you said, it's an hour program. You'll be done before dinner. So by 4:30, you can have an early dinner if you want right afterwards,
right.
Or make a lunch before and go do make a day out of it and do something with your family. But,
absolutely.
But come be a part of it. And I'm pretty sure by the time you go out of there, you're like, wow, that was way bigger than I thought it was. Like whatever you think it is, it's going to be bigger now. I'm telling you right now, whatever you cooked up in your head, it's going to be bigger now.
Absolutely right.
And if you missed this, there's 2 more shows 2 more concerts in this concert season.
Excellent.
And
right. But you want the Christmas one.
I'm pointing to the Christmas one, Mike. I don't have the dates at my fingertips.
But if you go to Roswell Orchestra, RoswellSymphony.org, I keep wanting to put orchestra on the website for some reason. RoswellSymphony.org. Go there. You can see the rest of the season. You can and if you want to get more involved, there's always looking for more people to be a part of the RSO. Maybe even if you don't play an instrument per se, but guys like Cisco, they have a board. They have there's a lot of logistics and moving parts that that people just don't show up and start playing. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that happens.
We're still in the exploratory phase for this, but a while ago, probably a decade ago at this point, there was once a Roswell Symphony Guild, and I think what it was the organization that did feeding of the musicians.
Like a farm system for the orchestra?
Well, not a farm system, but like a booster club.
Gotcha.
In
right.
a sense.
Exactly.
I think mostly spouses, and it's now a defunct organization.
So now
if you've seen that cookbook out there, Mike, there's
Savoring the Southwest.
That's from the Roswell Symphony Guild back when they existed.
Right.
So I'm talking to Sally Eichmer
I think there's a few
now,
in the Historical Society's archive.
There are.
Yes.
A couple of us in Roswell are talking about getting this going again because there are, like you've mentioned, there are a lot of folks in town that maybe are not musicians or maybe not willing to be a board member, but want to help in some way. And boy, we
support the program.
We have work for you. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, and because we all know what is going on is great. This is the best of humanity. This is the thing. This is when we're all gone and everyone's wondering what the heck we were. This is the kind of stuff they're going to be studying about us. The stuff that orchestra. You know what I mean? This is the stuff they're gonna, whatever happens long, I don't know. I got a lot of, you watch a lot of the Demolition Man movies and all that, so you're like, what's the future? But if, say, when they go to study us, whatever it is and how that is, this is the stuff they're going to be studying.
There's an old Latin expression, ars longa vita brevis. Art lasts, life does not. And so it's art which survives us, and what we know about a lot of the past is based on art, and
what inspires more life,
and what they'll know about us will be based on what we're doing here now.
Sure, and that's what the beauty of it is. So come experience art in every form, and that life is art. Everything's art. You do art. Like I remember the history stuff, and they're like, everything's history. Well, guess what? Everything's art too. It really is. I mean, if you're not, it's all in. If you're not doing it, you're being inspired by it, because every artist, whether they're holding a musical instrument or a paintbrush or a welder, their life experiences are involved in whatever they're going to be creating next.
So true.
That's what, what I mean.
Man does not live on bread alone. Let me tell you, I'm a retired Army officer, but I come from a family of musicians, and in some ways, for my mom and my sister, the music is sometimes not as fun as it is for me, because it's an extracurricular activity. Well, because it's their job, and so it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of them.
I get that.
But for me, it's been an extracurricular activity. And everywhere I was stationed in the Army, I was able to sing with a church choir, and it was a wonderful diversion. And I really can't imagine my life without having the arts in it.
Well, and I'm going to take a wild stab because of your experience in the military, obviously spending a lot of time in different cultures and different places that weren't what you were raised in. The tie that binded you was probably the music. Just going to take a hunch. That was the foot in the door. That's when they said, our differences aren't that different once you get in the room and start talking. And the music,
especially in the Middle East, absolutely.
Because my own personal experience is Middle East and things in my time in the military. You realize there's a lot more common ground. Cultures are different. The way of life, what you eat, what you sing, what you consume is different. But you know what's the same? The love for each other, the humanity, what you want for each other, the things. And then you start finding that common ground, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute. And then you start talking music, and it's like, okay, well, that's the same concept. We just did it this way. You know what I mean? Then you realize the things that aren't that different because it's all based on the same thing.
Yeah, I'm still a newbie to Roswell. My family and I moved here in 2020, and I continue to be impressed with how rich the arts culture is here, way off Broadway. The Roswell Symphony, the Artist in Residence program. I still can't believe we have that. I mean, what a wonderful thing. So,
if you are looking to do please look up go to the RoswellSymphony.org website. Go read some of this stuff. Get involved. Find if you're looking to pursue the music stuff, and looking for resources and looking for avenues on who to talk to and where to go. The Roswell Symphony Orchestra is full of resources. It's just people in the music industry. It's just people. If you're looking to pursue a life of this type of thing, there is so many different sounding boards for you to hear and opportunities to do that.
So true. So true.
And every one of these folks are going to want to do it, because when someone has a passion for something and then someone shares their passion for that, the passion goes tenfold, and you're going to be passionate. Kamal and the Night Visitors by Menotti here, the classic, like you said, he gave us the history here. I wasn't even familiar with all that.
Right.
Really, and what I like about it is because when I think opera, I think of things hundreds of years ago, and by and large, that's what it is.
Right.
And this breaks all of those trends and said this, and that's why when they said 1948, and I know most kids here in 1948, that that's like right after the aliens crashed. And I'm like,
right.
But in the big scope of things,
but you're right, Mike. In the opera world, this is a very recent creation.
That's a blip in time.
Right.
That was like a minute ago.
You're exactly right.
Again, go to RoswellSymphony.org. Get your tickets for this, and check out more things with the Roswell Symphony Orchestra. What's the other directed call, the number they can call to get tickets as well?
575-623-5882.
I know some people don't like messing with the internet and all that, and you like to talk to people and do things. And
no, please call our offices. Yeah,
and
willing and able to help you.
And if by some miracle we have tickets left on Sunday, you will be able to get them at the door.
You sure will.
But don't count on that. Get them in advance now, please. What little hair Cisco has there, he wants to keep it. So keep your stride. I know the pain.
I knew there was a camera here, so I shaved this morning.
Yeah, I'm about due. Mine's a little scruffy. It's late in the week. I don't do it, but come join us. Come and come as you are. This isn't. I know some people feel the need to get like dressed up in your Sunday clothes and best. If you want to dress up and get formal, by all means.
Absolutely.
But come bring the family. Come in your T-shirt and jeans. It don't matter. We just want you to come.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot to add. Students attend free.
Oh, you know what? That's a big caveat. So you can save a little money, too. And you're like, well, the kids get in free.
Yeah, it's a depending on your seat, it's a $40 to a $45 value, that ticket. So, yeah, please, students, enjoy.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. There is not a single bad seat in the house in the Pearson Auditorium.
I don't think so. Even the mezzanine, the balcony is fantastic.
Some people prefer to be up there. Like I've heard people that say that, no, I want to be up there as opposed to up front. But if you want to be right, basically in the orchestra pit, you can almost do that. Or you can, be up in the mezzanine.
Well,
there,
some people like to sit up there so they can see
the big picture.
More
and I'm going to take a stab because there's a lot of visual performance on this one. Maybe up front's not your best spot on this one. So.
Right.
But you do you. Whatever you prefer, it's there. Every seat's a great seat.
And we're doing this concert at 2:30 on Sunday, so it will be family friendly, so that people can bring their families.
Absolutely.
And again, if you want to dress up, fine, but it's certainly not necessary.
Yeah, and you'll be done before dark. So if that's how some people don't want to get out in dark and all that, you'll be coming in during the day and be done in the day, and you still got the rest of your day to do it with what you please.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It should be a lot of fun, and trust me, it'll be the best hour and a half after all said and done. Our performance and getting seats and all the other, but it'll be probably the best hour and a half of your week. Will be on Sunday. So
great.
Thank you for saying
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys, and Merry Christmas to both you.
Merry Christmas, Mike.
I'm sure we'll see you here in 2025 with a whole set of new and exciting things and new, bigger things. And who knows, maybe the Guild starts coming back to what it used to be. And next thing you know, we got a whole booster club that's kind of just doing their thing and creating bigger, better things for the RSO as well.
That will be a Christmas miracle. Absolutely.
That's right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
Mike.
See you
next
bless
time.
you. Thank you.
All right, it is 9:48. Let us pause for news and Hannity update. Good news, Cowboys fans. Got time to work that Cowboys report in. And then a quick break to pay for lunch. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin with business news in Artesia. Schlotzsky's has opened with a ribbon-cutting ceremony and fanfare from the Artesia Chamber of Commerce. This is franchisee Devin Garcia's first venture of this kind. After owning small stores and an oil field service business, he also is employed by Sunbelt Rentals. Customers were greeted with sandwich coupons and free Cinnabons on the first day. The Artesia Schlotzsky's is located at 905 West Main Street. Salado Isolation Mining Contractors, or SIMCO, announcing its combined corporate and employee contributions to the United Way have reached $105,000, underscoring the company's dedication to building a stronger and more resilient community throughout Eddy and Lee County. SIMCO's employees participated monthly in food distributions with United Way of Eddy County and worked alongside its participating agencies and community partners during United Way's Day of Caring. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
The problems that he is inheriting are massive. It's sort of like you have a boat taking on water, you got to plug up the hole. Well, we got to stop the illegal immigrants, unvetted, from coming into this country. We got to get that wall up fast. And we've got over 12.5 million. If you look at the illegals that were here before, people that didn't respect our laws, borders, sovereignty, including known terrorists, including cartel members, gang members, murderers, rapists, other violent criminals that have been, wreaking havoc all across the country. We've got to find them. We've got to remove them. I mean, how do we find the terrorists that we know are in the country? What do you think they're doing? We know what they're doing. They're plotting, they're planning, they're scheming. That is a monumental task.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
So the FBI, they call it house stealing. I've been telling you about this for over a year. It is a huge problem. If you own a home, if you own any real estate, it is crucial you protect your property and your equity from these criminals. Now, I've arranged for you, my listeners, to have 50% off Home Title Locks, triple lock protection. Now, you will immediately be protected. You'll get 50% off when you use the promo code Hannity. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Hannity. That's HometitleLock.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. There's good news along the offensive line where a starter returns after missing time with an injury. Details after this.
Cowboys Nation is big because everything's bigger in Texas. And Reliant has the energy to power it all. From home field advantage to home sweet home, Reliant has Dallas Cowboys fans all across the Lone Star State covered for every electric moment this season and beyond. Reliant, proud to be the official energy provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
Reliant, PUCT number 10007.
Whether you're getting ready to purchase a home, setting up a college fund for your kids, or preparing for retirement, you're working hard to live a life you love. And you deserve peace of mind knowing your home, loved ones, and future are protected. At SWBC, we can help you assess your personal situation and create a customized solution to make sure you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. Visit SWBC.com to learn about your mortgage, insurance, and wealth management options today. That's SWBC.com.
The Cowboys host Tampa Bay on Sunday Night Football, and the Bucs' defense is third worst in the league against the pass. So if the Cowboys' O-line can protect Cooper Rush, there could be some big plays to be made through the air. Cooper Beebe should be back at center after missing last week's game with a concussion. So Brock Hoffman will slide from center back to his role at right guard in place of Zach Martin. Unlike Martin, who was a first-round pick, Hoffman is an undrafted guy who's had to fight every practice for a chance to play.
When you're undrafted, you got to fight to stay here every day. You got to do the little things right, and you got to do them over and over again. You can't make the same mistake twice because teams won't give you a second chance like they would a draft pick. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like that's the realness of the NFL, and that's the mindset that a lot of guys that are undrafted have.
Bucs Cowboys kickoff Sunday night is 7:20 Central. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jeremy House. Your Christmas gifts could get delayed.
With Christmas just a few days away, some 10,000 Amazon workers at 7 facilities in 4 states, including right here in Georgia, Illinois, California, and Queens, New York, say they're joining the Teamsters to go on strike. They're fighting for higher wages, better benefits, and safer conditions at work. The number of potential Amazon workers walking off the job accounts for less than 1% of the company's U.S. workforce. Laura Winters, Atlanta.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell markedly last week following a big increase the week before. The Labor Department says jobless claim applications declined by 22,000. Britain's central bank has warned about heightened uncertainty as it keeps interest rates on hold after inflation moved further above the target. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Jeremy House.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're in pretty good shape all the way through the upcoming weekend. No big storms headed our way. Mid-60s on the afternoon high, and we get sunshine today with high pressure covering all of the southwestern states. It'll be clear for the overnight hours, low 30s, and then we're looking at upper 50s for the afternoon high on Friday and sunny, 60s and sunshine for the weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
The Grinch stole Christmas and brought it to Roswell Nissan. Now through December 21st, head for Roswell Nissan and sign up to win free gas for a year. Get 1 entry just for stopping by, 3 entries with a qualified test driver service, and 5 entries with a vehicle purchase. Drawing December 21st at 1:30 p.m. Must be present to win. Get 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and rates as low as 0%. And get a 2018 Murano for just $292 a month, or a 2019 Sentra just $214 a month. Get Grinchy at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Everyone knows that the Eyesight is the place to go for stylish, high-quality glasses, even the big guy in red. And when Santa needs an eye exam, glasses or contacts, cataract or LASIK care, or even glaucoma testing, the Eyesight is his place to go. With frames from designer brands like Maui Jims and Oakley, Santa's sure to find spectacular spectacles. They accept BSP, Medicare, Davis, and more. And with 3 locations in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs, Santa can slay this holiday. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight.
I'm Kyle Stepp, a proud New Mexican, para-triathlete, and Be Well customer. After I lost my leg, I found a new purpose in life. With the help of Be Well, New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, I can push myself to be the best athlete I can be. Be Well connected me to low-cost, quality coverage from providers I trust. I stopped worrying about medical bills and started living my best life. Sign up for affordable coverage today at BeWellNM.com.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
At New Mexico Gas Company, our priority is your safety. That's why we add a Rodden X smell to natural gas to help alert you of the presence of natural gas. So if you ever notice a Rodden X smell, it might be a natural gas leak. We recommend that you leave the area immediately and from a safe distance, call New Mexico Gas Company at 1-888-NM-GAS-CO or 911. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
Hi, Chef Anthony Noble here at the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher. We love serving you our delicious meals for lunch and dinner. The next time you're in on Monday or Tuesday, bring the family and take advantage of our kids' dinner special. With the purchase of an adult meal, you get a kids' meal for 20% off. That's right. Get the kids fed, save a little money, enjoy what I got cooking in the kitchen. Come visit us at 801 West Brasher in the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. We have it all. Come taste and see.
Don't forget, you can also find the Valley Cafe on our website at toasttab.com/Valley Cafe. Also on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand in La Pantera 106.1 for a special live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda. It's a December to remember, and Roswell Honda is gearing up for the holidays with the pre-Christmas blowout. That means unbelievable savings across the lot on a sweet selection of vehicles. We'll be on hand with free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to win some great prizes, including an Xbox Series X, PS5, or a 50 or 75-inch Vizio Smart TV. See you Saturday at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is closing in on 9:59. Got about a minute here before they kick me off the radio. Of course, if you missed any part of our show, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you'll find all of our interviews there. Of course, we replayed our interview with Crystal. She joined us yesterday from the Humane Society, talking about their holiday hours, and really today's kind of last day if you want to adopt a dog or a cat through them for the Christmas season. We had Dinah Luce, District Attorney for the 5th Judicial District, join us, and lead investigator Justin Dominguez. Had a great conversation with them at the 8 o'clock hour. And then, of course, we just talked with the maestro, John Ferrer, and Cisco Brink from the Roswell Symphony Orchestra, talking about the big show this Sunday out at the Pearson Auditorium. Definitely get tickets for that at roswellsymphony.org. It's going to be a good show. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott.